Enjoy cheesy class.
Spotify ads kicking in is the perfect reason to come on a little bit early. What is up, one and all? Happy Thursday. That's right. Weekend getting ever closer. My face getting ever whiter, which is how you know we are still in the midday and the sun is very bright and hot. But we are back for more Age of Empires 4 action, but not just Age of Empires 4 action for the pub games. No. We've organized something special here, folks. We have got a show match between B and Anatan on the new patch. That's right, the first competitive series you're going to have on Season 9 here in the preview that is running for the next week. We're going to have a play all 7, so we will definitely get our bang for buck. And we settled on $5 per map to the winner. And I might even let them go for more than 7 if they want to, because I kind of done something wild and said, you know what, guys? Pick whatever maps you want. They can pick whatever they want out of the entire roster of maps. I think the one exception I made was Mountain Pass, because I don't hate myself that much. I don't hate you guys, so I didn't want to do that to you. So Mountain Pass is the one, the one that has been excluded. Dry Rate will be the default beginner. But the beginner of the day has already been had by me. I had one of my banana cake breakfast meal replacements this morning at the Protein Works, and absolutely slaps. Honestly, guys, the banana flavored stuff at Protein Works is impressive. It's like drinking banana milkshakes. But now we've got the Salted Caramel Bandit, as was decided by Blowfly Joe. I haven't tried this yet, but I'm a big admirer of the ways of the Salted Caramel. So let's find out if this actually piques my interest. Oh, that's good. Okay. That is very smooth, right? Like, you know how caramel can sometimes be overpowering? It's like, you can taste the darkness of it. Does that make sense? Where it's like, it's clearly, it's almost like they've overcooked the caramel. That's smooth. That's like what you'd find inside of a chocolate bar, the right amount. Obviously minus the chocolate. So yeah, I rate that highly. I'm a little bit upset they didn't send this to me sooner. I'm kind of gutted it took this many months in for them to send me Salted Caramel Bandit, considering I'm one of the biggest fans of Salted Caramels imaginable. But honestly, the care package this time, guys, I mean, I've loved the previous ones, but this one is actually exceeding all expectations, right? The vanilla cremes have been good. Love the banana flavors, the salted caramel as well. If you guys want to take advantage of this and get your hands on your own versions of those, exclamation mark Protein Works, and you can do exactly that. They are sponsoring us for, I believe it's the fourth month now. So they've been with us for a while, and I've always been impressed. They have meal replacements, which are great. They have a decent amount of protein there, low on the calories. They have a bunch of different options for you on there, as well as kind of like the equivalent like pot noodles and whatnot. But you know, if you guys want to take advantage of that, remember when you go across the website, you will also get an extra 10% off if you use my discount code. So let's say, for example, come in here. They always have sales, guys. They are like 60 to 80% on average is what you're going to see off. So the diet meal replacement is the one I'm just drinking right now. This you can get in a bunch of different ones. I love the Banana Smooth Sundae. I think it might be my new favorite. Salted Caramel Bandit's what we're having today, and that absolutely pops. So you can get 8 meals for £12.99, which works out £1.62 a meal. But that's not good enough. We want to get it under £1.50 a meal, which is why you come in here and you put in the code KillerPigeon at checkout, and it will apply a code on top of the already existing discounts. Absolute bargain. And of course, shipping costs do decrease the more you spend. And in fact, I think in the UK, it's like over £65, it's free shipping. Elsewhere, it's like once you get past like $50, it goes down $20 shipping, and it continues to scale down as you go up. So take advantage of that today. Big shout out to them sponsoring us. And another reason why you're going to take advantage of this, I've already made a promise. I've made a pledge, guys. If we get 10 sales... So let me just close this crap. If we get... Good lord. Didn't realize I had LinkedIn open. LinkedIn is so laggy. If we get 10 sales in total throughout this month's campaign, I've already pledged $200 to additional show matches in the future. So, if you guys want more AoE 4 in a competitive setting, I felt this was a no-brainer. It gets you some delicious product. It ensures that the sponsors are happy and want to come back and sponsor more, and that allows me to then take that more and stick it into prize pools. I don't see what's not to love about this. So, draft is underway, though. And I wasn't kidding when I said I gave them a lot of choices here. Look at the map pool. Oh my god, I've outdone myself here, mate. I could not be asked to add in the logos to find the logos. Only one of them came up by default because it's the same name as like the AoE 2 map. So that one got linked in automatically. Yeah, we've got Socotra coming in. Oh, they banned Canal, Volcanic Island, Mountain Clearing, and Ancient Spires. I am surprised that B is the one banning something like Mountain Clearing. I would have thought he'd love that opportunity to go for some sort of cheesy shenanigans. But he did pick Highview, which is intriguing here. I wasn't expecting a Highview pick. We are going to be opening on Dry Arabi. That's going to be guaranteed. And it looks like we are going to be rounding out Cliffside. So Cliffside, Socotra, Golden Heights, Rocky River, Highview, and Prairie. So not much water presence. Basically no water presence, right? Golden Heights is the closest to a proper water map you've got. You have got Socotra with that kind of interesting pocketed elements on the flanks, but you know, it doesn't really come into the picture often. Basically, you can build like an archer ship or transport ship and go for some shenanigans, but there's no food on the water, so you're not really incentivized to go there. So we are playing pretty land pure here, which I think fits quite nicely considering the recent changes. There was nothing changed around water, really. So this is a great way of experimenting with the new patch. If you have not read the new patch, guys, we gave our thoughts on it the last stream. There's some interesting changes in there. I think archers might be a little bit too good now. Outside that, I've got a feeling Nesta Bees are going to be too good now. Springles are very intriguing. I don't think they're going to be OP, but I like the idea with them now being penetrating units in that they can hit things behind the unit they hit. So, I think there's a better name than penetrating, and hear me out, and let me know if I'm wrong on this. I think we should just call it shish kebabbing. Right? Because penetration sounds like something you do with a crossbow against men-at-arms. But shish kebabbing is very clearly, oh yeah, that guy and that guy are getting stuck. When is the new patch? So no very clear date yet. The speculation, I believe, is that it's probably going to be around mid-October, late October, is what a lot of people are fearing. As that would, I believe, align with the typical season rotations. So I'm expecting English, Byzantines, and HRE. HRE made it through? That's wild, man. I mean, Anno's got to pick it. HRE is just a given with this map pool. HRE, good for Golden Heights. They're good for Cliffside. They're good for Rocky River. I mean, you can pretty much pick them anywhere there's kind of a generalist map. And they also work well on Prairie. No. What? What are these boys up to? They're ignoring HRE. I mean, I know HRE... I know other civs got buffs, they want to try them, but HRE is still kind of god tier, right? Like, from what I remember the patch notes, nothing really changed that made them bad. Like, if anything, I feel like they benefit from some of these tweaks, especially around the eco-scalings. I'm not going to be able to find it, am I? Has everyone got the notes? Here we go. So, the Holy Roman Empire got, like, no changes. Other than, like, potentially good ones, which is the Minework Palace with the riveted chain. I think that might actually be really impactful. So, usually they got drastic overhauls, by the way. They are now more cavalry-oriented than they were before. They get access to their grenadiers in Castle Age instead of waiting to Imperial. There's a lot of desirable things there. Delhi also got some neat little buffs. It was mainly around this unique new tech that allows them to heal when they kill enemy ships, but that was it. Outside that, Jeanne d'Arc also is in a really cool state now. They've revamped her with her unique units. You used to have to build keeps to get them, and now they can be produced out of the related buildings. So Jeanne's companions will come out of the stables, and then the champions will come out of Raxus. Love that change, by the way. I think you're going to see Jeanne's win rate spike upwards now. Like, the champs and whatnot are very good if you can get them, but the problem was the scale point was too slow. So, Abbasids plus Delhi. Abbasids didn't get much changed about them, right? I think, yeah, there was just the indirect changes to them. Still an overall good civ, right? A lot of obsession with berries. Final ban here, and there it is. Okay, this is just a weird draft, man. How does HRE get stockpiled until last to get. But you know, in fairness to them, props to them. Maybe it's just they want to test new things, and I respect that instead of just going through the same old crap. So I actually like a big shout out to them. I think maybe that was the intent. It's like, we don't really want to just regurgitate the same crap, KP. We want to try new things, and these are some big new things: Ottomans and Malians. Now, Malians are a little bit bugged at the moment. Their freemen apparently do take bonus damage from archers, so they're meant to have 5 ranged armor, but they're basically countered still. But Ottomans are overall giga-buffed. I think they're in a really good place. I don't think they'll become a top 3 Civ, but I could easily see them becoming like a top 6, top 7. Japanese still feels really good as well. They didn't have anything drastically changed with them. You can see down here, there was nothing really for them whatsoever. But I really feel Japan was getting a little bit more flexibility with the last changes and their feudal presence with the decreased cost of upgrading your TC so that you can get Bannerman earlier. So, rounding this out, Order of the Dragon, I'm not surprised Anno picks this. It's like, for Anasan, I think this is one of his most cozy picks. He loves the Order of the Dragon and really makes them work. The fact that English survives the last, no surprise there. Same with Chinese, because remember, Mongols as well, they've banned already. They can see their opponent can't ban. So once you're past this threshold right here, it doesn't matter. You don't need to waste these earlier picks on things that you've ban protected because your opponent can't get them. So, logical approach there. So what we'll do now, I think I'm going to need to get a logo made up for KP's Midweek Madness, aren't I? What I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly restart my game because it's lagging a bit. And they're going to get ready to draft the first game. So first game is going to be Dry Arabia. Which I think they know. Alright, they haven't opened up just yet. And yes, full map pool for KP's Midweek Madness. That was ridiculous. Japan lost 20% HP because of Imperial Tech. Everyone lost 20% HP. That's not a Japanese-specific thing. Every single Civ in the game lost that. Because they've revamped Elite Army Tactics. So Elite Army Tactics now gives you 4 melee armor and then a 20% increase in damage. You no longer get the health. So effective HP in the correct matchup is better. In some ways, it can feel like a nerf to Japan, and that's mainly for Onobugisha. Onobugisha, definitely the biggest sufferers there, but also even just things like Samurai suffer a little bit. So, like, you know, I would say in the grand scheme of things, Japan probably kind of got hit with a little bit of a nerf there with that change to EAT, because now enemy infantry is going to be more chunky against your peeps. Pretty sure it should be anyway. I'll have to double check the maths, but definitely doesn't feel like it's a beneficial thing for them. Spirals are crap? I don't know if Spirals are crap. I think they're situational. You're not going to build them against mass range. The problem right now is solving mass range. Mass melee, they're not bad. If you have like a choke point mosh pit, they're very good. Okay, so let's have a look. Goddamn, the test server is so laggy. I can't wait to get this new PC campaign underway. What's up, Fooble? And I can see you YouTubers as well. What time does match start? It's about to start, Mick. So they are now drafting the picks for the first game. Also, a big shout out to Aurora. I see you there 2 days ago, subscribing after we went offline. Appreciate all the people that have been bringing in the primes, bringing in the subs. Don't forget, guys, it is September. So a perfect time to actually get subscribed, get your hands on the single best flag emotes you will find for Age of Empires 4, and you don't have to worry about ads when we're running all these show matches. What's not to love? Ooh. This is going to be a cool one. I'm trying to remember the actual results in this matchup. I feel like this one was... I'm pretty sure this one was meant to be Order of the Dragon favored. Last time I saw it regularly, but it hasn't really been occurring too much in competitive because no one rates either of those civs. Zhone plus Order of the Dragon are kind of just looked upon with noses tilted upwards, right? But looking at the most recent patch, OOTD, I think has had one of their best win rates for a long time. Nah, I'm wrong. They're down at 43%. So, Order of the Dragon versus Zhone in particular, 42.9. But it's only across 7 games. I'm pretty sure if I go to a previous patch, Order of the Dragon versus Zhone is at an 85% win rate. Yeah, so our instincts were right. Still, it's only 7 games played. It's not a great size sample group. But I would kind of lean slightly towards Order of the Dented in this matchup anyway, just because worst case scenario, they just hunker down, and Zhone hates civs that hunker down, and then they come out when they're stronger. And what gets really annoying at that stage is they get age free, they get the ability to heal, and they have very tanky units. So Gilded Knights can just run around with impunity. On top of that, if you get age free and start building Gilded Crossbows take a giant dump on Zhone. Right? The kind that shouldn't be seen on this website should be seen on another one. That's how vicious of a matchup that is. So let's see how B is going to navigate that problem. Maybe the new ability to pump out your companions more frequently will give him an up. The first competitive series played on Season 9 of Age of Empires 4. We got early access. One and all, welcome back to the Age of Empires 4 show. That is right, we have got a play all 7 between B and Anatan, and we kick off here on Dry Arabia. This is the brand spanking new Season 9 public preview. For a week, we have access to this, and I thought it was only right that we saw what some of the players were already concocting just 2 days in. So Anatan is going to cozily open on Order of the Dragon, a civ that he knows inside and out. Actually, he's one of the most effective players with this civ right now. Not much in the way of changes directly to this civ. The opponent, however, in B, has got some cool changes here. Zhone got some cool tweaks. We will not see the dock effect come in this game, but what we will potentially see is how much easier it is to spam your elite tier units when you reach age 3 with Zhone. So remember, guys, when you get Zhone level 3, you can start pumping out these champions or these riders, but the problem usually was scaling them. Now you can. And I think what we might start seeing out of Zhone players is look to farm that level 3 XP, just like they have before, but instead of eventually rushing Castle, you then stick Feudal and apply more pressure because you'll have access to your elite tier units and age earlier than most people would assume. Look at the spawns, though. One big thing to kind of keep an eye out for here is gold positioning and the exploitable weakness of it. Arkan Chapel did get nerfed, by the way, for, I believe, both H3 and Dragons. So the tower range went from 6.5 to, I believe it was 5.5, which makes it much harder to get these more desirable spread spawns. To be honest, in this game, it shouldn't hurt Anatan too much anyway. The Arkan's likely going to go down here on the tree line. In fact, if he positions it correctly, he can buff his tree line, use it as a drop-off location, and still get a trimming buff onto the west side tree. Meanwhile, on B side, pretty nice to have these retracted golds, a little bit exposed on the back, but it is to the back of his base. So if there's some sort of opening of horsemen out of Anatan, he won't be able to fully exploit that. But I don't think that's where we're going. Now, hold on a second. That's kind of cool. Minework Palace is coming in. So this is really cool because usually you're just going to go Arkan and Hunker for Castle, but this seems like Anatan is intending to play the Feudal Age. Curious to see what his approach is going to be. Usually the biggest value play for Minework is to go into the Men-at-Arms spam, but building Men-at-Arms straight away against Zhone feels like a mistake. Zhone herself can hold you back at a reasonable pacing. The Knights will just cycle charge you, so you have to open spears here. I wonder whether B is going to go melee form or range form, though. Because if he knows this is a longer feudal, that means melee form gets more value because you can potentially get level 3 quicker in the second age. And that's where it feels more impactful. Range zone always feels better when the game's going to drag later into age 3 and age 4, because then you become a sniper bot. In fact, I just realized we can pop predictions up. Let's do that right now. Give you guys 2 minutes to get them in. Make it quick. Is this spears into Gilded Archers? Because it's going to be knights into archers, right? It has to be here. I think B actually just needs to pivot straight away into archers the moment he confirms a Rax drop. So, like, you have the School of Cavalry, you build 1 knight, but then you just immediately go double archery range as soon as you can afford it. They said the Jones champions and feudal is an unintended and known issue. Really? I don't know if that is true, because that has been that way for a long time. And I mean, I'm just going to say Winston needs to start watching my YouTube videos, because we even done a cool video in a Beastie series where he basically had Imperial Age stats on Castle Age units, because the way that the champions work is that they scale with Zhone's level. She's the age benefactor. So what that means, guys, is if you, for example, have your Castle Age Men-at-Arms champions as Zhone, but you get level 4, their stats will immediately be upgraded. Again, Mindwork in. Palace play is going to be backed up by the Spears straight away here. And this is the big reason why usually you'll see people play into Mindwork is Golden Cuirass to make the Men-at-Arms more effective. But that's why I was a little bit perplexed by this choice. You just don't really go Men-at-Arms in this matchup, not unless you're trying to trek a Castle Age play. I am wondering if that's the goal here from Anatan. Build a few Spears to defend, prep for Castle Age, and then as you're going for Castle, you transition into Men-at-Arms, because even though you are going to give a reasonable fight across to B, as these Royal Knights will be able to charge in on you, the stats should be padded enough with the Castle upgrades that you can still beat a Royal Knight with the Men-at-Arms one-on-one. At least when they have the age advantage. Be pretty heavy on the gold gathering. He is just going to be spamming Knights here. Now, the reason it's good to get a few Knights out to begin with is it's going to keep your opponent pinned in his base, but you are looking for that Archer transition. If you're going to do it, you need to be fast as well. Anatan, with the way he's setting up on the gold, I wonder if we are just going to see him trying to trek forward. I mean, 3 villages doesn't seem like a lot, but you have to remember those are gilded villages. This is more like having 4 villages on the gold line, which at this stage in the game can suggest that you're looking to attack. But love to see instead Anatan is investing in all the eco. So he's got level 1s coming in. Of course, he can get very cheap techs from the blacksmiths once he has units. You even have the stables now being dropped. Stables that I believe B should be aware of here. I'd be kind of shocked if he doesn't realize it. Anatan knows what he's up against here. Like, this scouting's very important. It tells you just how heavy your opponent's going on gold. We have got Zhone playing into the melee form here. So, this is one of those weird ones, because usually when you see Spears, melee Zhone is just kind of a given. You'd think it'd be range Zhone, but melee Zhone feels good because you'll get that mass cleave. The problem is, where mass cleave can feel a little bit wonky is against particularly the dragons. Because the health pools are so big on all their units, the cleaves don't really feel that substantial. Your kill threat doesn't feel that good, right? You actually benefit from just having a lot more archers than having Zhone like this. But as we said, I think this is about playing a longer feudal. And with Mindwork being there, that's what he's anticipating. So he's looking to exploit that factor and try to get level 3 in the second age. Pro Scouts in the meantime is going to be coming in. We've seen a lot of players moving towards this. It just makes so much sense for French and Zhone when you consider just how cheap it gets. And on top of that, you already start with the stables in the second age, right? Like, that's what the School of Cavalry is. A School of Cavalry which will also allow you to produce those scouts quicker than other civs. Wait, do we have a mirrored play here? We might. Okay, no. He's just going survival techniques. That makes a lot more sense. Like, it would have been pretty ballsy to try and play like that. This is kind of awkward though, right? Like, you're leaning out to one side. Your opponent's likely to kind of contest here, both with knights and the scouts to now yoink away. B in the meantime. He's going to start circling around the back. Looks like Anatan did get the early warning about the charge coming in, although a little bit delayed in the reaction there. This is the nice thing about this matchup as well, by the way, and another part of why Order of the Dragon's really comfortable here, is knights can't easily snipe villages, folks. And that's also another reason why Zhone ranged feels kind of sucky. So knights can't snipe villages because usually what happens is you charge in, and you do enough damage to the lance and then the buff sword attack to 2-hit a villager for 50 damage. But these guys have 65. It's impossible. You'll never get a kill with an immediate charge in. To make matters worse, it feels horrible playing Zhone ranged as well, because usually Zhone ranged needs to shoot a villager twice, and then you smite them with the Divine Arrow. But when you play against Order of the Dragon, you'd have to hit that villager 5 times first. It's pretty brutal. I know. You can see he's looking for that age up. He pulls onto the boar as well now. It's pretty ambitious. Wait, what? Please tell me B did not get the XP. I think he might have. I can't believe he got in range for that. You see just how effective these spears are up against Zhone. They'll never get this kill because she's just too fast to run away. But it's a denial of, well, not denial of XP there, unfortunately, due to the time, but it's a denial of harassment here. And the knights are nowhere nearby. They're too busy running around the base and reacting to the attacks coming in. The horseman revealed on the archer is pretty good here. And presumably there was a knight that attacked as well, considering how low HP he already is. Either that or the shivs were doubly effective. Well, B. Now just trying to contest that, but the idle time is pretty painful here. Scout also just wasting so much time. I feel like Anatan is outplaying B by just making him look on the wrong places. And yeah, I know that the proximity, the XP is proximity based. I just thought that that would be a bit too far away. I feel like B was on the edge of not getting that. The Horseman spam coming in. It looks like Anatan is not going to be going H3. Instead, after what he just saw, he's willing to compete in H2. This is risky. Against Joan, this is incredibly risky because it means she could farm up a Storm if you make even the smallest slip-ups here. I think part of the reason is because Anatan is playing out into the flanks. He can't afford to just rush an age up because his food resources will just be immediately exposed, right? Stables now coming down. Sub entourage. No face cap. You know, I find my big obnoxious head is likely to distract people from the big obnoxious plays of the players when we're in game. Oof, and you see the pain of just losing just one unit, right? 16 XP for that spearman kill. Archer spam isn't looking good for B though. I think Anatan is pretty cozy here. He's coasting. Age up is about to be triggered. I think we might see him just go Regnants. There are games where Burgrave is warranted, and those games are where you just don't have enough units already. He has enough. There's no reason to be overly defensive here and react with a production building. Just go for your gold, and that puts additional pressure on a B to defend all of those extra objectives. So yeah, Regnants now on the way for Anatan. I'm not really seeing the way for B right now. This is looking pretty rough. His food got harassed, it got intercepted. Horsemen are now stopping him from playing like out into the flanks. I mean, he has got pro scouts to kind of keep him busy at home, right? But I feel like I'm seeing a lot of games at the moment where the pacing is so quick that pro scouts almost doesn't feel like it paid off, right? And I feel like this is one of those examples, even with a discount. It's the fact that you weren't able to block Anatan from gathering safely on the D and the ball anyway. So you've, while having map control, decided to take an approach that is usually done by someone friend, right? Like Pro Scouts is, I have some map control, but I can't keep it. What he done here just ultimately put him behind. And now, although Anatan doesn't have insane value with his horsemen, because you start to play the archers, it already played into this kind of counter blocker, right? And has kept him in his base since. Wait, what? Did he just cancel the reg? Alright, Anno's cooking, man. I don't think he needed this. You can just build an extra racks, right? Get your spin together. I think you would have been fine. Maybe the concern is that he wouldn't have enough map control to get the relics quick enough here. And that would lead to Joan gradually trekking level 3, right? And he didn't want that risk. But I feel like this is a situation where you're completely and utterly warranted to be greedy as all hell. Speaking of greedy, B being in this neighborhood is pretty greedy. B's going to come out. Will at least actually take down one of the horsemen. Looks like the army is going to react quick enough. So Anatan, a bit unfortunate there. He didn't wrap around the other side of Joan. So we'll be pushed away here. Veterancy hasn't come through for the Spearman yet. Luckily, he's able to shift away quick enough here. And we have got Gilded Crossbowman now arriving. Remember, if Joan comes anywhere near this, she will get deleted. They hit for 34 damage. Dive into the choke point. Nice, not able to break past the spears. And actually, it's good news for B that the scout intercepted Joan like that. Had she got any closer, the crossbowman would have reaped her. Archers are now here, but the Gilded Crossbowman count is already getting scary. And I'm starting to have my doubts, my questions about the Burgrave. He's at least now got it active again. It was having gaps there where it wasn't producing. I mean, it does make these spearmen insanely cheap. I guess he was paranoid about mass knights flooding him, so he felt like he needed the additional production and the efficiency of it. The fight now coming in. Joan frontlining in the wrong place here. Final shot is going to come out. The bolt to the face takes her down. And will now be able to cull the herd of knights. I think he's just lost this game. Anatan's timed it perfectly. The production on point with the crossbow mass. And now with 5 of these bad boys, there's no bite back. Knights are starting to build up again. Archers as well. Anatan, all he needs to do is just not overextend with his crossbows. Chivalry is at least there, so B can kiss his boo-boos better. But every minute that passes that he's not applying pressure, it feels like he's kissing his chances of winning this game goodbye. Joan has been brought back. She must be getting close to the level 3 mark here. Now, one thing that's kind of cool here is the idea of Joan's riders, but it feels weird in this matchup due to the fact that your opponent's already built so many spears. But it could be really good for you here because it directly contests the Gilded Crossbows. I don't think Archer's going to be able to do that. Maybe he wants to try and scale that way simply because he needs Archers for spears anyway. But, jeez, you're seeing what I mean about the Gilded Crossbows, right? The ultimate counter. So another spin is going to be given over. Joan could very easily get sniped now, but Anatan is showing a lot of respect. He's going to fully back up. Would benefit from getting some more of these techs a little bit faster with the mine work. Another Knight goes down, just about pulls away before losing additional here. So B creates a little bit of breathing room here. We are getting very close to level 3. He's had a few kills. Usually you can get it around like the 18, 19 minute mark, right? And he did get one of the balls. Anatan. He's sneaking around the back here. It's kind of weird, right? You'd think that this is good, Archers versus Spears, but just look at the ranged armor, right? +2, and then on top of that is Spearmen. They have 220 HP. Now with Men at Arms added in, B's got his work cut out for him. The only awkward and tricky part is you have to be very careful with your positioning because remember, Spears will move quicker than Men at Arms, so if you don't monitor your formation, the Archers are going to immediately A-click into the favorable trade. I would not call that a favorable trade, though, even with the XP involved. You have Golden Cuirass now also on the way. Farm count is only a handful. We've got 6 in total, but remember, he's now secured the flanks. He's got wood getting set up, walls getting set up on the east side. Gathering spread across the map. I mean, usually this is risky up against Joan, but with the way that B is hunkering down, there is no threat. Crossbows. Overextended here. Actually, just in time there. He needs to snipe Joan. It's too late, though. She's into level 3. And here we go. It's actually champions. Okay, so makes sense against the spears, right? But you don't have a great answer to the crossbows. I guess the logic here is going Joan's riders feels weird because you already have knights. Speaking of which, knights are going to dive in. Cleave comes through. Joan being brought low. The snipe not quite good enough. Anatan not able to get the kill there. And B may be able to strike back here. Frontline is already dead. Archer's able to pursue this. Joan is going to ride back into the action just to try and mop up what's left here. Archer's just sticking on top of the crossbow mass. Anatan not able to get the breakthrough there. And B may now actually have an advantage in more than one way, because I think at home we should be seeing Raxes getting set up, right? Not yet. Remember, you can now produce into the champions. Now though, Anatan gets a stay of execution. Just enough men at arms left to scare B. A lot of XP in his pocket now. A lot of farms coming through from Anno. I wonder, do we see some cavalry mixed in for Anatan? I think one big issue right now is he's kind of just getting kited, right? Men at Arms and Gilded Crossbows are absurdly slow. Yes, you have the range advantage, but that doesn't count for squat when you're needing to run away the way you did earlier there. Well, the reason why he doesn't have Inspired buff is because he didn't go for Regnants, right? So he actually hasn't added in the Monastery yet. That's the big problem here. We finally do have it now being dropped. So first Monk is on the way out. I think, where has he produced it? North side. So yeah, definitely worth getting this. It's not just the extra damage that would have been great to finish off Joan there. It's the extra ranged armor up against these archers. It means they are going to tickle. Right? Like even against Gilded Crossbowmen, at that point, it's like having the scale armor that Gilded Archers can get. What's going up? Maybe a little bit slow from Anatan there. Mistakes made on the timing here as B perfectly times a dive in here. Will snipe one of the villagers. Now he makes his way into the back of the base, and Anatan's army completely out of position here. Okay, this could be perfect. If he splits the knights on both sides here, there won't be any escaping this. Anna has to make a choice. Does he gamble with the corner or does he try to run away? B, he's hunting blind here. He splits up the troopers. He's looking everywhere. He knows the corner is the prime location. Textiles might be there, but it's not going to be good enough, surely. B. Did he see that? No way! Anatan! He gets away! I cannot believe that. B. He glimpses for a second elsewhere, and it bites him in the butt. 8 villagers will survive. Unbelievable. The difference that would have made to the game state here cannot be stated enough. B. Now we'll just have to shuffle out, disappointed and unhappy with the results, not able to get what he came for here. Meanwhile, Anatan is at least going to be found out on the flank over here, so it might not be the 8, but he'll happily and appreciatingly take the 5. Anatan's gathering comes back to bite him. Army's at least stabbing behind this, but it's just nowhere near quick enough to protect the villagers or punish the assault. B gets the eco hits he needs and gets away. 1-0, we've got a game. What an unbelievable game this is becoming as well. I thought that this was done and dusted. It looked like Anatan had it under control. Had it wrapped up like a present at Christmas, but no. Turns out we're going to need to save the receipt and get a refund on that one. B now making his way up. Royal Institute is on the way. He has a lot of knights, folks. 21 knights. The Cantled Saddles alone is brutal here. Remember, that's a plus 10 damage on the lance attack. It's bad boy right here. Just so cheap as well. All on the back, though. And it's... Oh, that was such a sick idea. Oh, man. Sadly, Party is an imp age tech, right? You kind of wish you were the deli there. That would have been incredible. That would have been an insta-win because, guys, a funny thing happens when you convert villagers as Order of the Dragon. Normal villagers become gilded villagers. That would have been an insane way to win game number 1. That actually would have ended up being one of the greatest wall lulls we would have ever seen. Was it 24 villagers, but no bueno. I think the awkward issue there for Anatan is he needed some sort of attack to distract B while he was doing it. Look at this shift to the backside, because that wall lull scouted something out, folks. It scouted out the Royal Institute. It scouted out the Reliance on this corner, and Anatan is now looking to exploit that. Knights start charging in. Veterancy just came in. June Cleave is down. She's gone. Crossbows need to clean this up fast. The men-at-arms are buying time here. Remember, they have got the extra health with the Golden Cuirass. Archie's trying to hit that back line, but they aren't vetted up. They're not going to be good enough to carry this. I think Anatan timed this perfectly. He wipes the Cav Battalion. The Archers can't contest this anymore. Zhong's nowhere to be found. And Anatan looks like he's done it. Game 1 will go to Anachad. What a sick game, man. That was awesome. Fantastic one to open it up. Why does that say Vold? Hello? Let me update that. Wait, it hasn't even got it the right round, has it? No, it has. Okay. Oh, I don't think it pasted the draft across. Give me a sec, guys. That's weird. I definitely pasted the draft in, so I don't know why it didn't. Let's try that again. There we go. All right. So, get a point on the board for Mr. Anachad. That was cool, though. Voldemort can't escape losing ATR. Sag. So, it should now be B's pick. It's got 6 maps to choose from. Plenty of good ones in there. So, Cliffside, Socotra, Golden Heights, Rocky River, Highview, and Prairie. Looking at his draft... So let's mark it off. Dude, I keep forgetting to talk to Cal about this crap. What we do is we keep saying that it's Cal's fault, and then eventually he'll remember to do it. He just doesn't want the bad rep, you know? So, do you go Golden Heights? You've got Mongols, but your opponent has English, right? I think English or Delhi can actually beat you on Golden Heights with Mongols. Maybe Socotra. But English is still a problem there. And Malians, actually. Yeah, Anno has a really good draft. Cliffside would be intriguing. You've got Juji, you've got Mongols. They're pretty effective. I think the new version of the Ottomans might be a good idea there as well, because you can just kind of horse archer raid the map with the new cav archers. Let's find out. So, waiting on B to decide the next map. They're going Golden Heights. Okay, yeah, so B. Ooh. I think you just go China, right? No. English will play like free archers, the free villagers rather, towards the pond. So you need someone that can contest that. My thoughts is Ottomans with racks being cheaper, but like then again, if you're going to do that play, is China just better for it? It's awkward because if you are up against the English, you don't want to have to build spears in that Dark Age. So at least the Sapai gives you kind of a bite back, which is really effective against the English in the Second Age. What other things could Anno do here? Malian's got buff, so their fishing now gives gold. I don't think you do that here, though. Donzo's just not spammable. Delhi did find some success. If you remember, guys, we had that amazing game between BC and Wham, where Wham was able to ambush him with a Delhi pick. So open the draft now. It's going to be Mongols versus Rus. Okay, yeah, kind of interesting that Anno didn't lean towards the English there. But like we said, if your opponent, like the Mongols, the logic is you don't send spears out, you send horsemen out, and you just don't rush going for a dock yourself. So I guess he didn't want to gamble on that. So we'll have Anatan playing safe at home, and B is presumably going to go straight for the dock. Oh, let me pay out predictions on that last one. So Anatan getting the opening win. We'll get ready for the next predictions. Game should be starting in just a sec. Reminder, guys, we're going to be looking to do more of these midweek show matches. The plan is to try and build this and structure this up into a whole regular thing that can occur all the time. If people do want to contribute towards that effort, there is a coffee link down below. All funds that come from coffee go directly into prize pool funding. That's what that one is in particular for. If you guys have tournament ideas and whatnot, be sure to reach out. I'm gracious enough to have had a few people reach out with ideas so far. We'll see what we can do. And another big reminder, Protein Works, sponsoring us for fourth month now. If we get 10 sales this month, we will commit another $200 into the prize pool. The prize pools for the upcoming month. So if you guys want to see more of these type of matchups, show matches, tournaments and whatnot, go use that code now, !Protein Works. Whew. It's kind of intriguing though. English versus... sorry, not English. Rus versus Mongols. It's awkward because as a Mongol player, you now have to kind of circumvent one of your strong points, which is Uvu opening, because you want to open with docks, right? So like your feudal burst is weaker than it was before. But this is a map where Silver Tree is viable. I think that's why I like the Rus pick from Anatan here, because Knights should block the idea of trading. So we're probably going to see Deerstone. But I think Deerstone isn't a negative or a weak point whatsoever for the Mongols anymore. I actually think it should be the naturally gravitated towards option. It's that good. Let's see if he wants to do it in this one, though. It's time to load it up. Crunchy, guys. Reminder, guys, we will have 7 games, by the way, as this is a play all 7, with the players receiving a partial prize pool for each game won. All right, let's get ready to go. Always have to flip those scores. It's time for the second competitive game ever on Season 9 of Age of Empires 4. One and all, welcome back to the public preview here. We are in the middle of a show match between Anatan and B. B, in game number 2, has opted to pick Golden Heights and go for the Mongols. Anatan had some interesting picks in there. English, Delhi come to mind. But he decides to lean into the Rus. And we're already seeing the expected here. Mongol player is going to move out for the pond. The Rus player is not. Now, that's kind of intriguing because, weirdly enough, the Rus player could have attempted to go pond off the basis that there would be no reaction. But B had made the correct call. So this action is correct from Anatan, right? Sometimes you'll see Mongol players just not drop the Uvu so they can rush out a dock. But B, prioritize this highly, understanding that the stone passive generation is important, and you need it in the case that your opponent is baiting you and they actually do come out to play on the water. So now, Anatan staying at home makes a lot of sense. He can't play Raxes and go aggro, because if he does that, his opponent will have double production, plus gradual fishing to assist him. And we have got pro scouts, folks. Wait. Could he be trying to burn down the Uvu? Either the Uvu or the dog. That's kind of cool if so, guys. Like, the scouts are still really good at torching. I don't think this works onto a dog because it's 1750 HP. Uvu's a little bit of a struggle, but like you can kind of play blocker to any follow-up play like Raxus. So I think Anatan is definitely going pro scouts, but this has like an added benefit of forcing some harassment at the other game. They'll force a reaction. It makes sense as well, the more you think about it, because the way he's played this is he's spent extra food, so the passive gold generation from the Hunter Cabin, as well as the gold gathered from gathering food, will line up quite nicely to tech him up. The question mark is what happens next, right? Because Pro Scouts is 275 gold, so in theory it's a cool idea, but you have to go for extra gold. And, well, you look at that. We've actually got a Golden Gate play coming in, so this will enable him, folks. The ticker is going to be there by default. The second one only takes 50 seconds. So if he wants to just gather a bunch of food or wood and then trade into the Pro Scouts, it makes a lot of sense here. For the time being, though, Scouts are going to keep themselves busy on the UV. Sheep count in the end was 13 to 11, so definitely no value gained there from the additional Scouts. But remember, one of the nice things is the Hunting Cabin produces these bad boys. So unlike other civs, you're not giving up villager production to do this. Did I put the prediction up? Oh, let me put the prediction up. There we go. Anatan versus B. Get voting. Giving you more of a preview than I should have. So, fishing is online. Third boat now coming out. B is, of course, going to be a little bit slower on his tech up here. That's to be expected. But he's stockpiling all the stone, which tells you a lot about his intent. We are likely looking at Keshings here. Which makes a lot of sense. Like, your economy is just better than the Roost now, because you have fishing, right? So you can actually bloat your Keshik count to beat the Feudal Knights of the Roost. Love that the villager, instead of repairing, is actually just attacking the scout. I don't know if this is worth it for B. This is really expensive in terms of like gathering time lost, right? You're not going to kill a scout quickly at all. Yeah, I don't get it. You know what? I think B didn't get his dose of protein work this morning to make sure that he's fueled and woken up, because I don't understand what that villager was really meant to achieve there. It's just wasted effort. You now have to repair still. You haven't scared away the scout. You've just missed out on gathering this entire time. And now we have the delayed dock arrival. However, the villager gets scouted so early there. Well played. Yeah, vision from the fishing boats, I think that was. So, perfect read there. Khan also did see it coming, and now the Khan can chase down this eco unit. So, B may have wasted time with that one villager, but he gets value elsewhere. You can see he's struggling to actually keep this one alive as well. It's awkward once you're at the point where it can burn, because it can kind of make it harder to get positive repair rates, but he just about threads the needle there. So, B will be able to keep the Uvu alive. It's definitely expensive to have to do this in terms of village gathering lost and wood burn. But worth it when you consider he did get that villager kill of Anatans. Anna, this is 2TC. Kind of glad it isn't Pro Scouts, right? I don't think the timings would have made sense. I don't think the value prop really is there. Curious where this town center is going to get dropped, though. B, in the meantime, has set up the archer ship, so he'll be well protected on the water side. The Khan is already moving towards the base of Anatan, so this will give him a means to kind of block these desirable town center placements. And it means Anatan might have to hunker down with something a little bit safer, when ideally I think you want to be dropping a TC here. So instead, it's going to have to be at home, on the gold, in a game where he only has 10 sheep. Khan going down is going to be a big benefit there. A little bit of a miss micro there by B. Finally, we do see him making his choice. So, Stable's now being dropped. And you can see why. He's got so much stone to work with here. So this could be 4 Keshiks by like pre-8 minutes, right? Which is kind of wild, considering how late he is setting it up. And the reason this is really smart is because your opponent has already revealed 2TC, because he did scout that with the Khan. But the other problem now with what Anatan has done is because he went Golden Gate, you don't have that natural defense point in the Kremlin, and you don't have that natural defender in the form of a militia either. So kind of an exposure point in Anatan's defense. That's why I love to see the Wolves. I think the goal now is Castle Age for Anatan. This is just a castle rush. He's probably going to have to add in some farms, which means he's going to want to have the Wooden Fortress down. Remember, Wooden Fortress does buff off of TCs, so the extra 20% drop-off applies to town centers as well. I think the nuisance of the scouts is about to come to an end also. Keshiks should be able to just chase this away. Fishing count is at what, 5? 7. Okay. Love that from B, actually. Although it's worse to gather from shoreline fish, this guarantees his opponent couldn't sneak in without him seeing it. And we already saw Anatan tried that once, right? So you need to kind of keep eyes on the prize. There's a high likelihood he's going to try it again. How did you guys vote in the end? Nobody voted? Well, that is unexpected. You bunch of people are usually gambaholics. I like that, though. The fact that no one is confident enough to vote. Tells me we got the correct matchup of players here. Rack's now being dropped by Anatan. And you have to do it from this position, right? Like, you can't spam knights yourself now. It would take way too long. You don't have enough food. So the whole point of spears is you just want to be food efficient. I say that. He's adding in stables. I hope this isn't more than like 2 or 3 knights. I don't think you can afford it. You've got berries, but your sheep count is now depleted down to just 4. So maybe the logic here is he wants to try and raid the eco cheaply and then move spears out to grab the deer. Definitely an awkward start for B, though. Trying to go through the fat stack power sable is not ideal. Cool sidestep. Smart choice there as well as castle turrets was coming in. Kind of unideal from Anatan, actually, now that we think about it. He could have easily set up the wooden fortress here, which would have allowed the gold villager to garrison, would have protected the entire wall line, and still would have buffed his tree line. So yeah, definitely a little bit of I think, a mispositioning there coming out from Anno. Probably just trying to be kind of optimal in terms of his time spent walking, time spent building without wheelbarrow. That's mean a problem's going to be on the way. And as a result, more walls have to be built up. Second rack's is going to be committed into. First knight has been queued up. We'll be moving out soon. Kurota on the way. B is fast castling. Oh, this is sick. I would not have expected a fast castle build here. I thought B might try to flood and punish the 2TC off the back of having the stronger fishing. But this is smart. Like, I think you can snatch away a key recovery element of Anatan's game strat here, which is going to be gradual play into Castle of Relics. You know he's not coming out anytime soon. When you see someone adding in a second layer of walls, you're pretty confident that they're worried about being attacked. Yeah, I think in hindsight, the free scout play from Anno may not have paid off at all. I mean, it didn't get more sheep. It didn't play into pro scouts. I don't know if it was meant to be a bait for the idea of pro scouts, but it doesn't feel like it worked. Break from the wall. And the second piece doesn't go up in time! Anatan has to run. There's a lot of villagers here as well. Wooden Fortress also going to get garrison. Does have the castle turrets, so more damage coming their way. Keshiks will find a little bit of damage. But is it enough, though? A lot of damage done in return. Spears. Also now starting to sneak out. Knight does find the villager there. Right now, B's problem is he's teched up, but he's still only pumping Keshiks. And that dive came in before he had the veterancy. So he needs a drastic switch up here. Considering he's up against mass spears, I think actually just going men-at-arms makes a lot of sense. Instead, it looks like he's going to pre-prep the crossbow transition. Yeah, a little bit surprised by that. I like this idea of just going spear Keshik. It gives you maximum burn power. Oh, sorry, men-at-arms Keshik. It gives you maximum burn power. you are unkillable because you just have the most tanky boys imaginable. There's no Kremlin defense. Sure, there's a castle turret wooden fortress here, but it doesn't have that same staying power as the landmark, especially when you've got this Kurotai behind it. But maybe part of the thought process here is B doesn't want to be into full melee, because if you're in full melee, you can't stop your opponent from repairing walls, let alone building walls. Meantime, looks like we've got an extension now. Anatan is shifting out to try and secure the deer. Is it because B wants to build siege, maybe? I mean, Minarms does that as well, though. I do like the idea of the siege here, by the way. 2 traction trebuchets delete all of this, and also because your opponent's building farms, you just get even more justification for doing so. Mango's not so great anymore. Ever since the Mango nerfs, remember the new Mangoes, they went from 0.875 tile splatter to about 0.5, so almost half the size of the previous AoE. So you can no longer scud the central hunting cabin and hit like the outside. That was already difficult for a long time. I remember the early days of Mangoes, they were big enough on the spread that you could hit the center of a farm formation and torch all of them. It was glorious. The problem was, you know, if you played Mongols back then, you had no soul anyway, because that was back in the Outpost Rush days. So traction traps coming in. This game's looking really good for B right now. Anatan is just bulking mass spears and basically relying on Castle Turret Outpost to defend him. Spears contemplating diving out, but you see the crossbow's actually pretty scary here at 14 damage. It's got the ranged armor, level 1, but it's not that impressive on a 90 HP unit. Stop attraction coming up soon. Fishing is pretty much boomed to where it's going to be, right? We've got 13 fishing boats now for B. That's allowing him to kind of mirror the effect of his second TC. And considering the fact that Anatan's had to go into farm so early, it's definitely hurt his progress here. If he's able to survive the next 3 minutes, I'm confident about Anno's positioning. But he needs to survive it first. 13 farms is a good start. In 3 minutes' time, I'm expecting to be about 20 deep. And now given the permanence of food, just start fighting back. As will the tech up. High Trade House now on the way for Anatan. Wooden fortresses are starting to fail him here. Kind of ambitious diving in with the Keshiks is not really necessary. Has always got that heal, right? As long as he micros it, he shouldn't lose any of these guys due to the Kurotai effect. Trebs now tugging onto that TC. It's Anatan. Slight eco lead here, but it won't be extending much more. Crossbow's now diving in. Will force the garrison. Kurotai getting even closer. Shift down to the center now coming from B as well. Also has a traction treb moving that way. 3 more hits and the TC should be gone. Tech up is complete. Keshik's looming around. B, oh wow, he didn't realize it. I think he totally forgot. Veterancy for the Keshiks is only now coming through. TC is down though as the Keshiks dive in. Textile should minimize some of the losses here, but Anatan needs to react right now. Spearman trying to front lines. The veterancy is coming in, but still 30 seconds out. There's 6 eco lead. A lot of exposed eco right now. We talked about these farms going idle, the impact it was going to have. Anatan's food income isn't going to be looking great for the coming minutes here. Deer is not going to last much longer. He has at least got the retracted berries behind. He's not going to be able to access the fort of his base anymore. I think B is going to try to force a game-ending play here. He's moving towards the landmarks, right? So as you creep in, you should be able to force Anatan into the fight. If you wait, Anatan should be able to edge this now because he has an eco lead raw. He has the high trade house adding 145 gold on top of that. He's got the hunting cabins. He's got the potential to sneak relics, as Roos often do. Whereas B has gone for a very expensive comp here. Crossbows and Keshiks. It doesn't get much more deer than this. Meanwhile, Anatan is just trying to defend with raw spear count. Would love to see him maybe just get a Mango out. That could kind of be intriguing here. To deal with the crossbow mass. I mean, spears deal with it reasonably well. I think Anatan can probably just get away with mass spears, but he does have his own crossbow battalion being built. Speaking of the crossbows, spears do need to be a little bit careful. Remember, he's got the Deer Stone, so this is why I think you're seeing Anatan adding in range units, is the Yam would allow these crossbows to just keep kiting. You'd never be able to reach them. So, a pretty smart choice there. Anatan needs to reach that critical mass soon. 4 traction trebuchets wailing on him. On top of that, we're seeing Springles. Springles that are now a counter to mass infantry. Can B get him out quick enough? What's the impact going to be? Let's find out. Springle shots coming in. She needs to hit that front line. Wait, why is he hitting the walls? Oh, he's got Select All Siege on. Okay, finally he switches over. Remember, these guys almost double their damage when hitting into melee infantry. Front line of Anatan has failed him, though. Back line is not going to last much longer. I think this game is done. I think we are going to have a 1-1 scoreline after game 2 here. Damn. I mean, we didn't really get to see the full impact of the Springles. I don't think that mattered there. Had he been attacking the Spearman, you might have seen it be more impactful, but the Kurultai is the real MVP here. I'm kind of surprised that Anatan got baited into crossbow massing against a Kurultai all-in Mongol player who had a tech advantage. In hindsight, the play in this game was more likely to go into Mangoes. Mangoes aren't directly countered if you just mass spear defend, right? Because Keshiks can't dive then. And it would give you that kind of pushback that you were missing here. Now, with Trebs hitting onto the primary TC, I think this game is at its end. Anatan probably going to look for one last Ura. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sassy. Wait, so I thought the penetration is the area it hits and a bit beyond. Is it actually a full line? Just to get clarity on that. Maybe I had like a graphical bug, because when I tested it last night, it looked like it was just hitting the area where it was targeted at. Yeah, okay, so yeah, it continues through for a lot longer than I was realizing before. That's my bad for testing it on slopes, but there you go, guys. Spirals OP confirmed. Definitely nothing to do with the Kurultai and the mass crossbows. Second game done, and we have got ourselves a series 1-1 between B and Anatan. If you shoot the unit on its range, yeah, it doesn't go through. Ah, got you. So basically, with Springles, and correct if I'm wrong here, but it feels like you want to hit whatever's closest to you so that the shot tracks past and hits something further away. Whereas obviously if you hit the thing that's further away, it doesn't connect on the thing closer, right? Which is very weird behavior. Is that correct? I think that's correct. It feels really weird if that's the way, because I don't think that's intended. Okay, so 2 civs down. 5 to go. Does connect closer. Ah, so it just does damage line. It's not complicated. I mean, maybe I'm just having like graphical issues. I don't know. When I tested on the first day of the pop, it looked weird. But it's legit. No matter where you target, close or far, it's just a line now, right? So that's... Yeah, attack ground would be intriguing. I don't know if attack ground would be too good, though. Right? It removes one of the few limitations to it. Maybe it makes the potential too good. Has bugs when units are moving. That would make sense then. Wait, guys, does that mean Springald ships work that way too? Could you imagine? Holy crap. Okay, so let's have a look at where we're going. By the way, guys, it's going to be a redraft after, I believe, Game 5 is what I stated. Let me double check in my chat. So, redraft will be, yes, after Game 5. So we might get to see some of these civs again. For now, though, it's going to be Ottomans, Malians. Okay, and we are going to... What is that? That's going to be... Is that Prairie? I'd assume it's Prairie. Alright, we'll find out in a sec. I could see it making sense for Prairie. The Ottoman outpost rush is pretty vile here. I would say this favors B. Like, based on the matchup, and what other maps do we have? We could be seeing, I mean, Rocky River, Highview, Prairie, Socotra. If it's Socotra, I think Malians are fine. But any other map, Cliffside included, I would favor the Ottomans here. The outpost rush play is surprisingly brutal. And this is a play all 7. Yeah. So $5 per map to the winner. It's Socotra. Okay, guys. We have not got a default draft win then. I think this is the one map where Malians aren't necessarily counted by Ottomans. Find out if I'm wrong though, shall we? An absolutely wild one here, as Anatan has chosen the one map where the Malians are not counted by the Ottomans in this Play All 7 on the brand spanking new patch for Season 9. My understanding is Anatan has the Malians, B of the 3D clan on the Ottomans, and apparently the Ottomans didn't drink enough water. I don't know what happened here. What? We seem to be missing a chunk of Socotra, which I don't think should change too much about this particular matchup. There are ones where this would definitely matter, though. Maybe the wood's a little bit rough from that. But let's talk about why Malians aren't counted on this map. Malians are counted on this map. Oh, no. The gold spawned even close to the side, because sometimes it's further away, right? I think it's a bit of a coin flip, but sometimes Malians can get more of these houses around. So the reason why Ottomans typically count as Malians, folks, is because you can outpost rush them. Usually you'll see a racks drop from Ottomans, and then they'll just send it, build an outpost on the houses, on the gold mine, and then your day is ruined. And they're very efficient at doing that because of the 100 wood cost for the racks. But here, that's not viable because of the back spawning gold, right? On Socotra, the gold is always guaranteed to spawn behind the player's base, which means the Ottoman Spearman Rush isn't as effective. Especially when it's this close, as you can see. In fact, the scout... B, no! Big mistakes made, and you can see Anatan already running this way. So B, playing with only 8 sheep, all of a sudden, that is going to be 21 sheep for Anatan. That is wild. 22, 23. I mean, like, keep counting up, guys. This is a jackpot. Even now, with the Anatolian Hills, which gives you 10 sheep, your sheep count as B is purely eclipsed by Anatan's. That's insane. I can't believe that. B just kind of slipping up, forgetting how brutal this map can be. I'm not sure what possessed him to do that, though. I don't think there's any world in which you get away with that type of rotation. You can see by your side how close it was always going to be. Sultani Trade Network now coming in. Another intriguing choice out of B here. I'm a little bit perplexed by going Sultani Trade Network on a map like this. Obviously, you can't trade. And although gold is limited safely in your base, there's only 4K, I'd say food is a bigger concern as this game goes on. So, B, with this choice, I'm reluctant to say you play very turtly and go castle. I feel like you actually have to be present in feudal. Because if you're not, you'll just run out of food. Oh, Anatan already making the ball play. A smart choice. Because, guys, usually this is risky. Usually you wouldn't want to rush out towards this, but... Wait, this isn't a ball play at all. Because he doesn't have a scout! He's getting rushed! Saharan Trade Network on the front line. Anatan is not waiting around. Oh my god. You lose one scout, and it may decide the entire game. The brutality and also beauty of Age of Empires 4 in a nutshell. Damn, I really thought this was just going to be a ball play, because the boar is pretty much free here, guys, when your opponent screws up the scout like that. Usually when you go for the boar, if your opponent has a scout alive, like, they might try to harass, they might try to poke. Admittedly, bringing 5 villages would have been quite ballsy to try and kill the boar. But I think this is going to be a ball play afterwards. Oh, wait, you're right. I'm an idiot. He can't take boar. He's Malians. I keep forgetting. Muslim civs cannot take. So, yeah, boar doesn't matter at all in this matchup. Kind of sucks, though, right? Like, this kind of strategy is intriguing from, say, Chinese. And, oh, wait, what? Is this enough? B? Anatan. He's bringing all the villages. Pinches are coming in. B needs these kills ASAP. Grabs one. Stab down a second. Third down. More are coming, though. He needs to body block this perfectly. What is this game? Oh, my God. Anatan, he's going to get it up here. There's no stopping it. B needs to run. More villagers arrive. The garrison coming straight away. And now it's time to return some pain. 2 villagers down. Third one to drop there. Not able to get the 4th. So it's still an advantage for B. A high price paid by Anatan as well, as he sacrifices all villager production to do that. And that means there's no really going home here. Anatan, his new home is on the edge of B's base. He's got a few people gathering at the sheep at home still. I cannot believe this game, though. This is wild. Keep in mind, this second outpost could end the game. B will have no wood. So the issue is he now can't dive this due to the fact that it's in range of the Saharan trade network. God damn. 2021 Mongols would be proud. I can't believe what we're seeing here. Socotra is indeed something. I find Socotra to be one of the most refreshingly entertaining maps in the game. It's so different. Yes, it can feel cheesy. But I think, you know, the thing I want to remind people of is it feels cheesy, and a big part of it isn't because of the map itself. But it's because it's so different. It's because it's a style that people aren't used to recently. Once they adapt to it, I think things will be different. I do still, however, think that Atoll is a better version of Socotra. So Rax is being dropped behind. B is already prepping Sapahi. Villager. What? Also, what? Remember, guys, the Saharan trade network got changed. It's no longer just an outpost. It gives you the javelin emplacements now. And these are sick. They have extra range over typical arrow sleds. You heard me correctly there. You actually saw it being hauled out there. It's an 8-tower range defense. Yeah, the fact they only cost gold is wild. I can't believe that. 75 gold for this is broken. Oh my god. Ooh, B's trying to rush Castle Age. Maybe he's only out here. How many sheep did he get? Anatolian Hills, right? Yeah, so he's got 12 sheep to work with. Sorry, 14. He's got the free traders, so he's getting a little bit of gold influx there. I think maybe Anatan is leaning the wrong way. Or not. I think he's going to try to get an outpost here, which with the 8-tower range would allow him to snipe the gold. This is wild. Oh, I shouldn't have a smile on my face, but I do have a smile on my face. Weird that he's backing up, though. Anatan, if he doesn't creep another outpost here, I don't think this is GG. Maybe it's awkward because you need 2 outposts, right? Because the javelins wouldn't be able to reach to protect this one. So you need to set one up here first. Either way, Anatan is pretty heavy on this age, whereas B is just trying to tech up. Donzos need to give access to this scout. The scout can't see the tree line, he can't snipe. Weird, the javelin... Okay, I thought that would be the 8-tower range, but I think he's like half a tower short there. So javelin's not able to reach that. B about to go age free. Castle Great Bombard? Dude, you need a lot of points for that. If he goes Imperial Armory, no. If you go for the Council, it's possible. I actually think people might now be sleeping on the Council. This Istanbul Imperial Palace is kind of cool now, with the additional options you have on the Vizier Council. Tonso's trying to poke in, but this outpost scroll is too slow. I don't think Anatan has done enough here. Here's the wild thing, guys. Once you reclaim some of the map with Castle Age, you can play the south side wood. You don't need to worry about the ones in your base anymore. How do you get Vizier points? By producing units. Well, Archers are going to get added in now. We already have the stables for knights. Like, you could just build 2 knights and go around to the enemy's base, right? I know. Continues to poke. What's that? Dock idea? Dock idea isn't bad. And yeah, there we go. So, remember, with the Malian transport ships, if you garrison inside them, they throw javelins. So, this is a cool idea. Probably could have came a lot sooner than this. And I think if it had, we'd be looking at a very different game. But instead, B, he's fine. And I wonder if it's because of the Sultani trade network that Anatam wasn't aggroing the gold faster and focusing wood instead. Because in theory, your opponent will still be fine without this gold access because of the passive gold he gets here. Oh, immediately toggles onto Trebs. Not surprised there. There's a lot of defenses to deal with. But the Javelins, B gets found. Shivs are going to be brought out, but the second wave is coming. This is not a fight you can win with Peasantry. Big mistake, B. Need to just get out. Gluttonously try to defend himself here. It's going to cost him. A few villagers are going to get picked off. And the game is becoming insanely claustrophobic for B. Hunter now comes out, so not even the transport ship play. Doesn't want to waste the time with people idle on the side. Just goes for the full archer ship. Janissary reaction doesn't feel great here. What? He built Janissaries against the Malians, who already have javelins here. What was he expecting? He really thought Anatam was going to try to dive him with nuts in age 2. I don't know. I think this game scrambled everyone's brain. Malian outpost rushes are real, folks, and they are scary. What? That was wild, dude. Malian outpost rushes. Holy crap. As if Malians ever needed a buff on Socotra. Oh, what do we call that one? I need to quickly name a few of these as we wait for the next game. Oh my god. That was wild. So, let me mark Malians as used and abused. Ottomans as well. We didn't even get to see anything new from the Ottomans. Villager War was interesting. What do we call it? Malian outpost rush. The new Malian outpost rush is lethal. Yep. Alright, there we go. So, I think they are getting ready to draft now. Let's have a look here and see what we're going to get. Dude, I'm so glad we hosted this. This has been freaking brilliant already. Alright, so they're picking now. That gives me a second to name the other ones. What was the second? So the second game... The second game was interesting to me as well, because that was the Mongols Roost one, right? Yeah. And then the first one was the Zhone Order of the Dragon one. Oh, the Zhone Order of the Dragon one was pretty normie, right? Kind of. Maybe we upload that one. So we got Juji versus Delhi. And it's on Prairie. Huh. I like Delhi here. It's kind of intriguing. I'm a little bit surprised by the Juji pick. Want to know something funny? Roost Warrior Monk buff gives up to +3 damage to siege damage to Incendiary Arrow? Wait, what? 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 Why? Of course someone called Sly Bebop would have found this out. That is definitely a bug. The patch is online. There's a public preview thing, but it's not on the main server, no. Oh my god. I need to message Winston about that. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, devs are watching. You've just revealed your secrets, Bebop. You should have kept it yourself, mate. Winston Churchill. He's holding firm on the beach. That's why English is so strong this patch. Good guy, Bebop. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, so let's get ready for the next game. Oh my god. Let's flip that again. Dude, this they keep ending up on the opposite sides.
One day.
It's what I've been waiting for. Grenadier time! Yes, let's go! Season 9 preview patch here. We got a show match between B and Anatan. And this is going to be a fun one. Delhi, not tweaked too much, but I think we've seen the Delhi moving into a different direction with Elephant Fun Time and Dome of Faith. But what I am interested in the most is this. The Zhu Ji, who right now are Cavalry OP. They just got some interesting buffs. For a start, you can get Grenadiers in the Castle Age instead of Imperial Age. On top of that, the Cav are now bonkers with a 20% increased attack speed. I'm excited for this one. And honestly, for good reason. The games so far in this series have been peak content. I'm glad we got these two. I love it when we get drastic overhaul patches. Like, I hate these small tweaky changes. What I want is big, gaping adaptations to Age of Empires 4, followed up by fine-tuning. And that's what we've got. With the big siege changes coming in Season 9, with some adaptations of essentially the identities of the different civs, like the Zhu Ji. I'm really thrilled to see what the future of 84 is going to have in store. Prairie is a cool one to see coming out here. We already have a difference in opening here. Anatan did not go for the double scout. Meanwhile, B did. And part of that is because Anatan can rely more heavily on berries. Berries, which did have the base rate increase while having the perk for other civs decreased. But overall, the gathering rate of Delhi shouldn't have changed on berries. It's just that other civs gather berries a bit quicker now. So 16 sheep so far to 22. I think B needs more. I wouldn't say that the double scout play has paid off at this point. Maybe 8 to 10 more would make it kind of justifiable. Right now it's 17 to 22. You have to remember that the Delhi are going to start on the berries, so it does skew the numbers slightly, but this doesn't feel that great. The reason it's a problem is, like, this is a matchup where both players are now going to try to stay at home, guys, because with the changes to the Zhu Ji, Horseman spam actually isn't a bad idea in Feudal Age, and here's why. Horsemen can attack 20% faster, right? And their base attack is 9 damage. So like a 20% increase there in their DPS doesn't quite bring them to Ghazi levels, but brings them to a point where they can somewhat compete. Especially when you consider that, you know, with the right kind of angling, you should have a better economy due to the Imperial Official buffing your gathering rate. Obviously comes down to the berries, though. So I think what you might see here from B, yeah, Meditation Gun is going to come in. A very safe one here. Does get all the berries, part of the gold, and a few trees. So probably looking at, what, 36 food, 25 gold, and about 5 to 6 wood. Nothing insane. And that's for good reason. You don't really want to play far onto the map. Ever since Meditation Gun got fixed so that it no longer is bugged and gives double resources when killed, people don't want to build this on the map anymore. Because people now will attack it. So when you're up against an aggressive civ like the Delhi, you don't want to risk that. What I'm curious about is whether B is going to try and rush Castle Age. I know that Zhu Ji have been fixated on that as a goal for a while. It's very powerful. But in this matchup, I think it's a negative. I actually think the easiest way to win this matchup is for B to just scale Chiganu. And that would make me sad, because scaling Mass Chiganu means that we are not going to see anything new unless this goes into Imperial Age. They're kind of bummed out by that, actually. I mean, it does mathematically make sense, right? Like, Mass Chuganu will be able to just eradicate Ghazi. You can't play Mass Archers because you've gone Dome of Faith. So you just go Spear Juke and you push over. That also gives you a blocker to the Sacred Site win condition that Anatan should be leaning into. B. Final collection is 22 to 19. Oh, you sacrificed a villager, man. I'm not sure if that worked out as worth it. Also, the way he's dividing his economy feels terrible. When you're playing Zhuji, in an ideal world, you want to be able to lean one resource, lean the other, because you can just supervise to kind of churn it out. But he split his economy 3 ways, quite evenly. So this Imperial Official's impact is drastically lower than it normally would be. I think this is because we're going to be looking at Zhugnu. So the only reason you want this many people on wood is to set up the archery ranges and then get the gold pumping with food into the units. Meanwhile, Ghazi already on the way. Sanatan doing the atypical opening, which is also pretty damn useful up against the scouts here. Oh, I forgot to do predictions on this one. We're fairly deep in this particular one. So you Gambaholics will just have to get in there next time. And at its hand with the Delhi outpost rush. It's a fast castle build and he's punishing it. Or at least he thinks it is. Stables just got dropped on a delay. What a game. So where is the tech to get the speed? I think it's in blacksmiths, right? The attack speed tech is in the blacksmiths. Don't know if I like that. Well, horsemen need to be supervised and pumped out ASAP here. I don't know if this is going to be quick enough, though. The Ghazi, the scout, might be able to protect. Surely not. Surely not like this. Horsemen dive in. Villagers getting targeted, but they do have the textiles here. It's going to shift one away. Love that micro. It's wasting time with the horseman. One villager should be going down. He needs that second one. This is going to be tight. But I think he's got it. B should be able to get the snipe just before the outpost would complete here. What a micro there, B. It looked like Anatan was outplaying him, but just adjusted at the last moment to get the necessary kill here. Now I wonder, do we see another villager pull? We do. 2 more from Anatan. He's not done yet. You've got to be kidding me. I do wonder if this was necessary. I mean, it was likely going to be a Castle Age rush otherwise, right? And Shaolin monks don't really give a crap about anything that you have this early in the game. Ghazi can kind of out-micro, so you can just pull back injured ones and eventually kill a Shaolin monk, but it's very high effort. And if you feel like your opponent's got too much food, he can just keep pump and dumping more monks, right? So I kind of get where Anatan's coming from. If he at least gets the Sacred Sites behind this, it's worth. He needs to be moving for those sites, though, and right now he's not. Horseman spam is real, though. B trying to now run away from this as Anatan is bringing in more villagers. The wall is not going to go up, though. B, he may lose some of the cap, but if he can get these kills, it's worthwhile. Splits it 2 ways. Wall is going to get built up, so Anatan is safe. This game. What is going on? This is our home, Timothy. We live here now. Get used to living in the trees. We're wood elves. He makes a move. It looks like he might have done enough damage here. The Ghazi count ahead of what B has to defend with. Horseman now diving in. Textile just makes it so difficult. The pinch is going to be there. 1 villager down. A second one to be targeted. Can he get it? He needs the final tap of the hammer. But he can't bring the hammer down. He gives up on the dreams and the game becomes a nightmare. 4 villagers dead. No outpost achieved for Anatan. And B, he did spend a lot on the horseman there, and a lot of horsemen did die. He needs to find a hit back here. It's not good enough to stop that outpost going up. He needs more now. Look at the health bars. This cost him dearly. Yes, he did get the villager kills. Yes, economically, over time, he will be better. But for now, he's actually weak. The Ghazi need to mirror him. The Sacred Site lock-ins are now allowing Anatan to be ahead on economy despite the fact he lost those villages. Scholar's at least going to be brought down, but it only costs 65 gold. So kind of a whoopty freaking doodah if you kill a scout and a horseman in return. That he will. I can't believe this. Who loses 4 villagers pre-8 minutes and still wins a game? Because I legit think Anatan is winning this game. B, he's going for the tech, so there is a way out. But in the current state, I'd say Anatan is ahead. Not an age up, sure, but map control, the dominance here. Enough Ghazi that initial Shaolin monks will not be safe. And it is indeed going to be that Shaolin monastery, so monks going to be on the way. Sacred Sites, in the meantime, have all been locked in. Timer is started. 10 minutes defense is not feasible here, I don't think. But with the right amount of pressure, which he has with 16 Ghazi, and now playing the castle himself, the Delhi could become a real threat. Horseman, ambitious there. B. Pretty sure what that was about. And we finally have the tech on the way. Dali Horses is coming in. The attack speed increase is going to be big for Lance to play. The Horsemen are irrelevant now. But Lances are kind of crazy, actually, with this unique tech. Remember, this is the new one that got added. So 75 food, 175 gold, takes 45 seconds by default. And it increases the attack speed of all cavalry by 20%. Now, some cavalry did get nerfed to balance this out, like Imperial Guards got their attack rate decreased. Same with the Yuan Raiders. Yuan Raiders, this is still a pretty drastic buff because it actually shifts back into a positive attack speed. Whereas Imperial Guards, I think, are slightly better than they were with Dali Horses. First Lancer coming out, though, and it's an absolute bloody nightmare there. Ghazi, I'm going to shift back. Looks like we've got more being added in by Anatan, surprisingly enough. Notice he does not want to fight with the Monk for good reason. 2 melee armor and 15 base damage with double the attack speed of the Ghazi. So first relic on the way home for B. Oh my god, what a game. What a game indeed. I've just got the biggest smile on my face, man, because I feel like every single game is delivered. Maybe the first one was kind of like more atypical. But outside that, this has been pure chaos. The question is, can B do this? Does he have enough food? Great. He's down to 5 sheep at this stage. It's kind of risky for Anatan as well. He's down to 8 sheep. He never played flank resources because of the horsemen. So both of them are going to have the same issue to answer. The difference is that one Lancer can do more than, like, 2 Ghazi, right? When raiding, at least. Looks like we're getting spears and archers added in, so he's just locked into the age now. Along the flanks, decaps are coming through from B. Limited units to work with, but finding ways to sneak in the right locations. Namesh is also now coming in, so B. I wondered if he was going to try to switch over. You can't really go Palace Guard. Maybe Spearman yourself would have made a lot of sense here. Instead, just going for the more expensive choices. Shalamonk, in the meantime, proving why they're favored. And I love this from Anatan. It's pro scouts, man. Remember, he gets pro scouts for free. 4 scouts in play. I wondered how he was going to get away with this, and we found the way. Anatan doesn't have to worry about defending his economy because it's going to remain at home. Bees, on the other hand, is about to have to buzz out like a buzzard here. Double outpost being set up to try and defend this, but against Mas Ghazi, this isn't a substantial defense. Which means you better have the Lancers in the neighborhood, otherwise doom. I know, now saving up for age 3. Has Anatan done enough? I think so. Especially more so when he does this. Imperial Official, not quite grabbed there. And Anatan, he's going off the mill. I think that's a misclick. Oh, that's so unfortunate. It would have been big as well. If he could get the Taxman kill, that's huge. The Imperial Officials, remember, you have to produce them out the TC. So it's just you sacrificing a villager and spending 3 times the amount to replace the loss, right? Pretty painful to have to do there. It's very weird, actually. When you play against China, killing Imperial Officials is never worth it anymore due to the Imperial Academy. Against Yuji, you should always be prioritizing it. And kind of slits are about to come in, so B does have the static defenses. Torches being pulled out, though. Spearmen are going to wail on the Lancers. Meanwhile, Ghazi are fixated on the primary target here. One outpost about to go down. Lancers not able to hold up against this Spearman. And now the Taxman is going to die. Second outpost also in trouble. B, he doesn't have a big enough army to contest this. It came down to the food. Anatan, still everything safe at home. Meanwhile, this play out to the board, onto the deer. May cost B dearly here. Second wave arrives now. Villagers trying to come in clutch for the repairs, but it's not working. Only 2 left alive. The outpost is not going to reach fortification point. Sure, it gets up there, but with only 80 HP left, it won't be good enough. And the army can't hold either. Just 2 Lancers and 2 Shaolin Monks remaining is not going to be good enough here. B now behind on economy. Wow, what a read. What a clutch decision by Anatan as well. He was getting ready for a tech up, but instead he doubled down on his timing, realizing that he had the flood point, realizing that B was about to starve. Unbelievable. Now B, a big issue, right? Way too much gold, not enough of anything else. I mean, he needs a marketplace, he needs to trade ASAP, but that is going to get expensive fast. It's already 190 gold to get 100 food. Ghazi now going to hit into the economy. Economy that does not have textiles, folks. So B throwing away a lot of units here. 2 villagers get picked. Nothing given in return. Main army is stockpiling. I think this is over. B, there's just really no way out of this anymore. House of Learning now teching up. I think we're going to see a GG the moment Castle completes. He has to be sensing it as well, right? There's no way. If he's not getting dove here, a tech is happening. Who the... I'm really just going to have to emphasize this again, because saying it once doesn't give it enough clarity. Who the hell loses 4 villages on an outpost rush pre-8 minutes and still wins a game like this? There aren't many players. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm seeing this. Hard case bombs is on the way. I love this tech, by the way. You're seeing that correctly. Units you hit with your bombs take bonus ranged and melee damage for 5 seconds. This is one of the coolest tech decisions I've seen created in a while. Weird that you can queue it up multiple times, by the way. That's a weird bug. You did just see that correctly. Developers are watching. Mark that one. So for some reason, you can actually queue it up in multiple archery ranges. A bit of a weird bug. But ages began. And I think B... The Grenadiers can be good, guys, but they have their limitations. I think we might be about to see those limitations. 10 damage. It is siege damage, admittedly. Weird that Anatan is chilling like this. The Phalanx thing again? I don't know. Maybe. Quite possibly. Yeah, devs will probably be looking at that. Can I get paid by the devs for testing getting players to test their test? Ghazi again and again. Not much in the way of health on them, but a few eco kills to make it worthwhile. Textiles is at least there, so B does have that defense, but he's not reacting correctly here. These guys are heavily injured. Don't run away. Stab them in the face. Meanwhile, Centimass pushing forward. We've got 4 Granny boys on the run. Moves in, frags out, and there's the debuff. You can see it. It's a little bit like the camel on knees here, so these guys are taking more damage, but nowhere near enough. And these are expensive, remember. Look at that, 240 resources down the drain, easy peasy. Yeah, and they also don't benefit from the range techs, right? Because they are a siege type. And that's not going to be enough to get him back in the game. GG gets called. Anatan with the absolutely disastrous outpost rush turns it around. Damn. What a game. What an insane game. Holy crap. Is that like the worst outpost rush we've seen? So far, definitely. It's a Delhi disaster. There we go. What was that? There we go. I think, like, yeah, okay. So, let me have a look here. See where we're at. Oh, this is incredible, though. Okay, so let me check what they're drafting now. They're going high view. Ooh. With what you got left. So redraft after this game. Let me mark Juji and Delhi used. Do you know how far the Spiral Bolt goes? I think it goes to its maximum range, right? I don't think it goes beyond that. But maybe I'm wrong. I haven't thoroughly tested it. So Chinese versus Abbasids. Okay, this is like a good matchup for Abbas, right? I feel like Abbasids can win this. Which is Anno's pick. Oh. Anno wants the money, guys. Oh, I forgot to ask these guys if this should count to the ATR ranking before we began. I think we won't count this one just because it's like test server. But for the other series that we're going to try to host, like my goal was to ask both players, because it's up to them really. If they want to put the ATR ranking on the line, if both of them agree, they should be allowed to. All right. So China didn't get, well, I mean, the nest of bees, right? Are nest of bees still OP? Is this little bee still OP? Let's find out. Season 9 preview server here. 3D Clans B on the Chinese going up against My Insanity's Anatan on the Abbasids. This is going to be a fun one. We are into game number 5 of this Play All 7 show match that we've organized and hosted on the test server. We're going to be in a high view. High view is always kind of a tricky one, actually. I'm surprised they picked it when I left it in there. It's no pigeon's view. The trade in the corner can lead to very boomy, long games, and an Abbasid and Chinese pick also leans us that way as well. So maybe instead of predicting who's going to win this, I should just be predicting how long the game's going to go. We could potentially have our hour-long game here. So, opening up, going to start the predictions for you guys. B has gone for that double scout opener again. I think we will be seeing pro scouts. It's not a bad idea for China to do. They supervise the tech so quickly that it's worth it. Same with getting the stable units out, right? So we'll keep an eye on whether that's going to occur. For the time being, it is, of course, going to be about sheep pool. So far, it's going to be 9 to the 14. You kind of need this when you consider that the Abbasids are very food efficient. For a start, they get extra berries. They gather them quicker. They also spend less on their villages with fresh foodstuffs. And if this is going to be a TC race where both players are building multi-TC, Chinese TCs may be quicker because they can produce in 15 seconds with Song Dynasty, but that means you're spending an insane amount of food compared to the Abbasids, right? An Abbasid player with the fresh food stuff discount putting down to, was it 32 food? He will spend 96 food a minute. Meanwhile, a Chinese player on his TC will spend 200 food a minute. Now, he'll get 33% more villages out in that time, but it's still double the cost. I'm curious, actually. Is this going to be Eco Wing? Yeah, there we go. Eco Wing's coming in. So, no melee wing kind of makes sense. You could try to play block of the TC, and there are some matchups where when you know it's going to be multi-TC, playing military wing makes a lot of sense to block your opponent's tech up. This doesn't really feel like one of them, and the reason is that whenever you play against the Chinese, they tend to condense their town centers anyway, so they'll build them like here, which means your 4 military units don't stop a town center at all. B, with no pressure on the way, means he gets to happily go into Imperial Academy instead of Barbican first here. Really good spawn, by the way, for Anatan. It's not often you get this generous of a spawn where you can just drop a TC pretty much next to the House of Wisdom and get deer plus berries. So this is an absolute jackpot spawn for him. Second deer at the back with the gold. Like, there's an easy wall across here on the north side. So I think Anatan can very easily play corner camper, but there isn't necessarily a requirement for that. I'd say in this matchup, usually the Abbasid player can be more aggressive than the Chinese player. I think Chinese players will usually try to hunker down. If they want to play the Age, it's going to require time to build up Mass Juganu. Speaking going for Tang aggro build? Oh, you mean the Archer plus Horseman, no Juke? I would be shocked if he chooses to do that. I don't think I like that against Abbasids here. I mean, he hasn't gone on the stone, right? So, like, maybe. I think Anatan just needs to keep an eye on him. So, logic here is if Anno goes 2 TC, it gives an opening. But if he just kind of sticks 1 TC, because he sees his opponent's going all in, you can kind of ruin his day. The crazy thing that I've seen is Abbasid players can just get away going 2 TC versus 1 anyway, though. because of how cost efficient it is, right? Fertile Crescent gets you that 35% discount, used to be 30. And on top of that, you're getting the 35% discount on villages as well. Hantan just sniping all the deer. I don't think that's going to matter, though. Like, I agree. I think there's a possibility here that B may just consider pro scouts. Intriguing that we haven't got to move onto the stone at all. Makes me wonder, have we got a fast castle from B? I actually rate fast castle quite highly here. The logic being you just rush relics. Your opponent doesn't have anything on the map. It's a bit dangerous if they get too much time. Like, if the Ambassadors are given enough time to react to it, they can start scaling Camel Archers. And Camel Archers are a solid solution to fast castlers. But what in the ever-loving duck is that? Wait, what? Well, he doesn't... Okay, so let's explain the thought process from Anatan. He doesn't see any stone gathering, so he knows it's an aggro build, likely. So he's playing Condensed because he's worried, okay, it ends up being the right call. Because check this. The game sense on Anatan. He knew that there was a Barbican rush coming. He eyeballs it up early. He takes the safer option, and with Fertile Crescent, it's not a bad option either. Those farms are quite affordable at only 49 a pop. Meanwhile, this Barbican kind of feels wasted. I don't know if this is good enough for B. I mean, you're securing a lot of food, sure, but... And your opponent is going to have to go into farms, likely, but he's got 10 sheep still. It's not bad, right? Like, B, he's blocking both deer stacks with this play, as well as the boar for himself later, gives him a lot of food in this area. There's only one berry stack on the west side that Anatan could pivot to instead. So, like, there is a weakness to what Anatan has here. Like, he's going to have to build farms. It gives an opening to B. But I think this means that B can't now go 2TC. He can't, I think, rush fast castle. He probably has to attack. Considering the lack of production builds, though, I think he's going to fast castle this. I personally don't like the fast castle rush here because it's Abbasids. And you're seeing why I don't like it right there. Camel Archers are kind of nuts, guys. They're really good in this matchup for what B's intending. I mean, you have at least got Nesta Bees if you get to age 3, and that's a problem for Camel Archers, but anything else is going to be rough. In fact, I am wondering if Camel Archers can now beat Nesta Bees, because they have quite high base damage and it's based on ranged resistance now, right? So it's not an insta-kill, but you can kind of kite them out, you can spread wide. First Camel Archer comes out, first farm gets added in. And B, he is going to be playing the edge. So here we go. Archery range is being dropped. We should be just getting Jugnu here. You still animation cancel? I think so. Funnily enough, like Camels a while ago, I think like 2 patches ago or 1 patch ago, got a funny little buff on them. You might see it there. They actually counter like gunpowder infantry now. Luckily, the devs were aware of this, and deciding that they really hate Janissaries, decided to do something different than just fix that. So Janissaries do get countered by Camel Archers sort of now. But the funny thing is that normal hand cannoneers aren't light gunpowder infantry. So this is basically counter to, I believe, Janissaries and Grenadiers, if I remember correctly. Wait, do Camel Archers not get bonus versus Janissary? That's got to be a bug then, right? Because I'm pretty sure Janissaries are now counted as light gunpowder infantry. Like, they legit have a tooltip right there. Sassy, you've not seen this recently? It came in the last patch. Not the pop one, the one before. So yeah, I think a Janissary might still beat... No, I don't actually think a Janissary beats a Camel Archer because of the health difference, right? I don't know. I'm going to have to confirm with the devs. I'm curious. I haven't, like, thoroughly tested it. But considering that the tooltip is still there after a second patch, I'm assuming it's in. Maybe assumptions make an ass out of me, though. I would find it to be a very funny interaction, though, for a unit that already feels really strong. Like, I actually think camels have been slept on for way too long. They've been good for a long time. People just struggle to find the builds that utilize them well. Got a lot of map spread from Anatan, by the way. Villagers shifting out onto the berries because he doesn't want to just build farms. Understandable as well. He needs an army. Juganumas is getting big. And yeah, not just camel archers, guys. Camel riders are insanely good. Camels are busted good in early Castle Age. I think people have just been gravitating towards lancers because it's what's comfortable, and riders are better a lot of the time. Like camel riders, the change, by the way, to camel riders, they're buffed in Castle. They're nerfed in Imperial, but they're buffed in Castle because in like the whole heavy food cost was a buff towards Imp. But this change of wood and gold helps early Castle a lot more when food is more limited. You're going to see a lot more camel riders now. Mass horsemen, mass camel archers. Gradually getting up in numbers, but not a quick comp, remember. Camel archers take 35 seconds each. Juganu are going to poke around the back, but he's not finding mass farms here because, guys, Anatan keeps creeping out new groups of villagers to take the resources from under B's nose. He's coming around for this. Oh, I love watching this kid. Anatan is something else, man. These two fighting up against each other is always brilliant. Like, you know, we usually described Anatan as the second coming of B, right? With these crafty and weird strategies. So it's always a pleasure to watch them both going at it. So Horseman plus the Camels are going to make their move, B. I mean, he's fueling this Juganu mass with gold. Gold that is coming from home. Still, it is quite big. It could even attempt to dive at this stage into Anatan's base. Well, he's going to more easily and more rapidly dive now into B's. Quick reaction out of the Russian to get away here. Villagers, wait, what? B? No! What's going on? That had to be a mistake. There's no way you frontline with the villagers there. Not against this many horsemen camels. 5 dead. B, I mean, Song might give you some power, but not that much. 55 to 41. I don't know what the hell that was. I think what happened is he selected his army and accidentally selected the villagers. And then A clicked back towards base. It's the only thing that would make sense there. These villagers. Oh, this is brilliant. Osman Camel actually running again. Now, this should be enough Juganu to scare him, right? There is the undermesh. Yeah, I don't think you want to dive this. I know. You're just trying to buy time to reach the point that you can attack this. Jug are going to try to dive in. I wonder, should B just be building rams here to force the fight? 3 rams would force Anatan to commit directly towards you. Right now, he's been dodging you like the plague. I think now he might be ready to fight. 16 horsemen, 7 camel archers versus 32 Juganu. B, his army is split. This is not good. And Juganu, damage definitely not good enough here. It looks like the horsemen are going to be able to absorb enough blows. B is going to lose the mass of his army. This is the problem behind this. Like, the army's trying to run across, but it's so far away. So B, now 20 eco behind. Military lead is not going to last much longer. I think we're close to game over. Oh, man. The patience out of Anatan here. Reaps the map the correct way, right? For the eco kills, for the fact he's playing extension resources out here, which only just got scouted by B. Now the farms can safely be set up behind the base. Anatan still behind on raw military count, but most definitely not on military power. Yeah, I'm struggling to see the way now for B. Anatan knows that he's seen. The outpost sees the scout watching him. This is absolutely brilliant. It's not your berry patch. It's my berry patch. You might have to sacrifice a villager or 2 to get these walls up, but it's worth it to buy the time. Just about gets it online. He's actually just going to run away. The Q idea may not have been worth it after all, folks. Oh my god. What a game this is becoming. Well, Anna, he's once again just drawn attention away from his base. And had this happened 2 minutes earlier, had this been scouted 2 minutes earlier, I think it would have mattered. But Anatan now has a full farm transition underway. It's going to be 30 farms in the next 30 seconds. Wolves are going up. He's about as safe as can be. He's as safe as a bank. B. So at least got his army in position this time, right? Not sure if it's going to count for much. Because if your army's here, it's not pressuring Anatan's lead. B's not playing on the stone. He's not playing for a fast age up. He's pretty much locked into I like repeater crossbows. Anatan is like, I like ponies. Farms shouldn't be faster than berries. I mean, they're not, right? It's 30% versus... actually, they might be with agriculture. It's 0.75 base. Berries just got buffed to 0.69. No, I think berries are still quicker, even with agriculture. Which, weirdly enough, Anatan doesn't have. Dive coming in the Barbican now. If he just gets agriculture, this flood is going to be uncontrollable. He's currently at 33 farms. I mean, why do farms need to have a food base that high? Why not make it 0.65? Or 0.6? Farms will still have their place, their presence, but they won't just be a thing you go to. Like, for goodness sake, so we had our Scarguard Invitational event, and in the deciding game, Voldemar, as the Chinese, was making a granary transition at 6.5 minutes. Why? Why? Yeah, Sassy, I know it's 0.75. I'm saying farms should be 0.65. 0.65 or 0.6. They should not be 0.75. They really should have never been 0.75. Some Civs will still build them. They'll have the circumstances, but they won't just be an easy get-out-of-jail-free card in as many games as we're seeing them be. B, now moving in the triple ram, though. This is what he needed a few minutes ago, and I'm starting to wonder if it's too little too late. I'm going to find out. Zhug trying to race that TC. Anatan, it's kind of awkward. His own base is getting in the way of the Horseman flood. Archers are being prepped alongside this. He's going to start to dive in. Rohirrim rides. Horseman able to get on top of him here. Camel Archers pursuing as well. He even gets in deeper to scramble the formation. And B, I think that's it. That is the hair that broke the camel's back, weirdly enough. The other way around here is B. About to lose the entire army. It's 22 horsemen, 13 camel archers. The rams are being chased away. This game is done. Anatan, time and time again, able to scramble and defuse the Zhuge Nu threat. This time for the final time. Cool game. A lot of potency in these camel archers, right? You wouldn't think mass camel archers up against Zhuge Nu, but you see the value compared to archers. It's the gap close potential. A mistake gets made, you keep pressure on. No move gets made, you make your own moves in a way that you simply can't if you mass archers instead. This was a smart read by Anatan. Great execution. Love the flank resources. Without this detail, I think he would have been screwed because B's Barbican drop, although it didn't screw a TC completely, although a TC still went down at home, what it done is it prevented Anatan from getting access to all that food that would have surged him forward. Food that he will happily now gobble up. Rams being built to deal with that. B yet to wave the white flag, but I think he's going to be convinced of how quick this game is over. Villagers shuffling away again. I mean, B, not really sure what the comeback mechanic is here. You could go castle, but I don't think you'll ever get castle quicker than Anno here. thought Jignu had no counter? I mean, they don't if you just monkey into the base, right? Capital. No, this was just well played by Anatan. He really did outplay B on the map. Horseman can struggle big time against Jignu. But B never reached that critical mass. He never had it all in one location. And now, it doesn't exist anywhere on the map. GG called. Anatan, another point on the board. Another $5 secured in this pup show match. Woo. So, that means, guys, we are now going to have a redraft. So, Anno, up 4-1. We've still got 2 games to play, though. So, yeah. And we still have 2 maps left, which is Cliffside. And I believe, did they pick Lipany? Let me double check. Probably not. Cliffside and Rocky River. Anno seems to have improved a lot. Dude, Anno Rising. Like, I keep saying hashtag Anno Rising. It needs to just be the themic thing. Dude's pretty baller. So, we might be able to get some more impromptu show matches after this one, by the way. So, more fun to come. Let me get the draft up. Oof. Let's have a look here. So, doink. Any takes on the new Siege? I think Nesta Bees are too good. I think Nesta Bees, like everything else, I think is pretty reasonable. I actually like a lot of the changes. I don't think Mangoes are OP anymore. Spirals are quite intriguing. I just think Nesta Bees are still too good. Nesta Bees, like, I bluntly said this to a dev. I was like, I feel like if you remove Nesta Bees, not many people would actually care. You know what I mean? Where, like, just give them Mangoes or something. Because Nesta Bees are still just toxic. Spring was still bugged? In what way? How are they bugged? I think knobs still have subtle tracking, but I think it has been nerfed compared to what it was before, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I'm just getting spam messages in the background. When units move, arrows stop after first unit. Oh, you mean after the spring connects, so it's only like penetrating against static units, is what you're saying. Yeah, that's kind of funky. If they fix that, I think Springles will have a really cool place in the meta. I'm a bit worried that it might be too oppressive, but we can't judge it right now. That bug is the problem. Well, it's not just that they shoot continuously. The biggest problem with Nesta Bees is their saturation. That's always been the issue. Is like they just flood shots, so like they just don't miss, right? Even when they shoot, they just kind of don't miss. Like, you've heard of people mango dodging, right? You never heard of people Nesta Bees dodging. The closer you have to a Nesta Bees dodge is you walk out of range, which is, like, I mean, I guess it's kind of a dodge, but calling that a dodge is a bit of a cop-out, you know? Hi, YouTube. Just checking in on you guys. So I quickly want to... What do I want to do? I want to name that one. What are we going to call that one? Camels are taking over. Age of Empires 4. They keep getting buffed. I mean, it's like they didn't get buffed directly in this patch, but Camels kind of got indirectly buffed in this patch, right? Because Camels benefit, I can't remember if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Camels benefit from incendiary arrows as well, right? So it's incendiary arrows and biology. And biology didn't get nerfed for God knows what reason, but incendiary arrows got buffed. It's like Camel Archers are just getting buffed. Right? Like, I'm not imagining, they do just keep getting buffed. All right, there we go. Updated that. We can switch over to our draft as we've now got a new, fresh draft. Let's see. We're going to be going to Cliffside. Let's see what they want to pick. HRE versus Malians. Oof. Oh, yeah, that's right. This time the HRE didn't get banned, which is kind of surprising. Or, like, B banned it, but Anno didn't. What did Anno ban, actually? Sorry, my UI is bugged. Wait, that can't be right. Let me double check that. Was this the correct draft? 1 second, 1 second. Ah, there you go. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong draft. Let me update that. Yeah, so Anno, he actually he banned the Aba, Byzantine, Malians, and Chinese. And then the Malians was picked by him while B got the HRE. Interesting. So, we're probably looking at another point on the board for B, right? Malians versus HRE. What do you do here as Malians? No, I shouldn't have that sinister of a look. You outpost rush. I actually think you might try to outpost rush him. Like, it's quite possible here, actually. Let's have a look. Well, let me flip those scores. So, Anno Tand. And let's start a new prediction. What if Malians were just the single best outpost rushing civ in the game? No, there's no way he'd do it here, right? No, it's not possible. Not against the HRE. Let's find out. One and all, welcome back to the first ever show match on Season 9 of Age of Empires 4. We're on the preview server here for a showdown, a hoedown between My Insanity's Anatand and 3D Clans B. Anatand with the Malians and B with the HRE. And immediately we go into the Spearman Pump. So, no outpost shenanigans likely here. Anatan is going to have to play defensive. And I'm a little bit surprised he took the bait. He straight away starts plowing down the houses. Oh, but the scout again! B, we've got to stop meeting like this, buddy. This is the second game in this series alone, where he's dove a TC and lost the scout. I mean, maybe this one's a bit more forgivable. You don't necessarily know how the TC is going to spawn, what the tree line is going to be. The one on Socotra was brutal, but this is brutal as well. You're now playing blind with Spears out for this play. He at least knows where the gold is, and this could be big, guys. Because if B does get an outpost up here, it blocks all. And that's why Anatan reacts accordingly. Pulls the villagers, is going to get the outpost up, and that means that B's play into Dark Age rushing here is going to fall short of what he was looking for. Damn, that is such a good read by Anatan. I've seen a lot of players greedily just go for the tech up, and then they'll waste their tech up building into the defensive landmark, right? The Saharan Trade Network. That's a mistake. The new version at least has some credence with the buff being that your outpost can get javelin placements, but most of the time you're just giving up value. This allows you to get that value in a Mansa Quarry while also protecting your interest against Dark Age rushes. So yeah, B, now just a wasted effort, right? Like you spent 150 wood, you spent 240 resources on units. That's 340 total. In return, your opponent had to idle a little bit with the villagers. Like, you know, you missed out on maybe like 40 or 50 extra resources and spent 100 resources. This is still a positive for Anatan. Pretty heavy on the gold gathering, though. Not sure why. I guess you could just start spamming cattle straight away. So it's not bad, right? You do get it back in a way, in a form. So there's going to be a torch on the houses. And you're noticing that Anatan's allowing this to happen. It's because he doesn't want to have to waste time walking over and idling out villagers to garrison. So maybe you get a house here. But you're not going to get that crippling detail of pit mine dead, all houses dead. And there we go. Mill now being built. Oh, I like this. This is cool. So Anatan, because he knows he doesn't want to have 4 people on gold, but because he knows he can't get emplacements until age 2, he's building a mill here so that he can pivot between food and gold gathering with these villages that are basically glorified outposts, garrisons. This is pretty cool, actually. This is what I love about Anatan. It's these type of small details that really make the difference between like a decent player and a god tier player in the future, right? These micro adjustments on the fly. And I just realized we were on the wrong scene. How did we get there? Wait, were we there long? I've been chatting with my face on the screen the whole time, have I? Okay, thank God. I didn't even press the button. I think I must have clicked it by accident. Okay, thank God. All right. I would have felt more trolled by you guys if you let me sit there for 3 minutes. That would have been brilliant. Radio cast. So 2 houses down. Outpost to go get Garrison. But you see what I mean, right? Like, it's very subpar at that range. But as long as it's not the pit mine, he shouldn't have to commit. What? He goes for the Saharan Trade Network anyway. Now that I did not expect. I think Mansa is just so glorious, so valuable. But this is pretty cool, man. I don't think we're going to get the outpost rush now, right? Because your opponent already has spears out. But this does give him a lot of static defenses here. Remember, instead of getting the arrow slits, which is kind of cool, you're going to get the javelins, which is just a better version. On top of that, now instead of spending 50 stone and 25 gold, you're only going to have to spend 75 gold to get javelin emplacements. That's kind of wild. Meanwhile, other side, we're getting mine work. Oh, please. Please. Please do it in game number 6. Guys, mine work got buffed, and I actually think mine work isn't terrible now. So, a few things here. Mine work in itself got a very cool tech now that gives +3 melee damage to spears and horsemen. That's insane. Just think about that for a second. In Feudal Age, +3 damage, a spearman has, what, 8 damage? So you're almost adding 50% more damage in Feudal. That's wild. Spearmen are already a good answer to javelins as well. And this also means that you can contest Donzos. Because Donzos have more effective HP due to their armor and health. But you pay more for them. But now, in the DPS exchange, you're better off. Add it on top of that, the fact that the previous patch saw prelates getting buffed so that they can now buff 9 villages instead of 7. And prelates as a form of sustaining your eco buff has become more efficient than it's ever been in the past. I really rate this build highly. And we've already got the prelate out here. Spearman spam's going to continue. Anatan, meanwhile, needs to read this and prep archers. Has no reason to right now, right? Keep in mind, B is behind on economy and extra now. It's not just the the fact he's probably going to have to add more prelates. He also had to go back for a scout after losing his one initially. Dive coming in with the spears now. He's got the tech coming through, a few seconds out, but all pikes, there you go, guys. Less than 100 resources to get 3 extra damage. Now you rush Bloomery. Bloomery and Undermesh is what you get next. I think in that order as well. Maybe you could consider Undermesh first to make the dive last a bit longer. But he will be at 12 damage at that point. Which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is that not what Gilded Spearmen get? I can't remember if it's 12 or 14 damage. I think it's 12 damage, right? Horsemen get 15, I know that. So you're going to have Gilded Spearman damage, but you're not paying double the price. That is wild. Oh, man. Big shout out to the devs for adding these type of little details to the UI as well, instead of just giving the +3 and players not understanding where it comes from. These type of little UI icons may seem like they're going to be confusing when you stack a lot of them, but for players who are trying to understand the game and the mechanics changing, these are actually invaluable. So I love that they had the foresight to realize, oh yeah, we could have just made it a +3 that shows everywhere, but we should actually show it on the tooltip. Imagine the icon for Mercenary House. Oh, if only. I wish. There are still areas for improvement like that I hope we do see soon. Because, RTSs are an information game. And whenever you're a counter type of RTS, which Age of Empires 4 most definitely is, that information is even more crucial. Horsemen now getting added in because, of course, why settle for one unit that gets buffed like that when you can have 2? That is a 13 damage horseman now and a 12 damage spear. The cost efficiency of this army is wild. Siege engineering now also on the way. Anatan, he's trying to go for the tech up, so this is going to be a rush into Farimba. No Fulani plans. Farimba's kind of intriguing here, actually, guys, because you can play into... I don't think you go Musafadi, right? You go the better Musafadi. There's no point going for the Freeman because they get ranged armor and there's no ranged units. Javelins would be weird as well. They do at least have poison arrows, but they don't get bonus damage against this. So I imagine this is about getting the big boy Musafadis. And in fact, we've already got multiple Raxes prepped to confirm that. From a garrison now on the way. So remember, guys, it's got changed. It no longer produces in batches of 5. It now allows you to choose a unique type of unit by upgrading one of your existing types, and then you can build them out of their related production buildings. So, for example, if you go Mansa Musafadi or Freeborn Warriors, you can build that unit out of the Raxes, but also out of this. So it's like an upgrade. It's like a blacksmith's and a Rax in a way. Clown carring underway, though, and B has got a lot of spears in there that you do not want to fight. Normally, you can kind of navigate around this, but these spears hit hard. One village down already. Oh my god! They hit so hard! No way. This is ridiculous. Torch is out. Of course, it doesn't buff that damage, right? Back in the round they go, though. Frimba almost complete. It's a lot of spearmen, a lot of horsemen, though. Love these min-maxing as well, just pulling the spearmen out to try and torch in between. Deck up complete. And it is indeed going to be the Mansa Musafadi. Now, one problem with this is he doesn't have much gold, and Musafadi are almost 50% gold costs. So if B just goes after the pit mines, he could starve Anatan. Weird. Wait, I don't like what B's doing here. He's prioritizing all the wrong buildings, right? I guess he's trying to keep an open area for mass spear spam, but this does feel a bit weird. Love that he's playing pocket resources, by the way. We're out in the deer and the boar here. Even has an extra prelate at home for the wood line. So he's going to shift away. And let's check on those bad boys. Look at this. They even get buffed in feudal, by the way. That's not even vetted yet, which is why it stats a poop on a stick. Let's see what it looks like when you upgrade it. Was it 11 damage? 9? Oh. Oh. Am I the only one that feels underwhelmed looking at that? I actually back the all pikes. I actually think the HRE spearmen win. Oh no. It just doesn't feel that great. I mean, your attack speed is better than spears, right? But the DPS is 12 damage. Yes, you've got like 1.5 times the health. You have the numbers though. B. He's going to have to fight now. Spearmen are going to come out and start stabbing. Ram is going to be brought down. In fairness, with the Saharan Trade Network here, he should be able to mop up. Anatan will be able to hold. It's going to cost him though. Yeah, these spears are trading much better than they have any right doing so from an age behind. Horsemen now arriving as well. And second wave's coming in. The Rohirrim Riders are coming from the north side, so Anatan needs to mop up these spearmen ASAP. This is so awkward diving this. The javelin damage definitely adding up everywhere. The horsemen now in. They also do have the +3 damage, remember. And I think we're now seeing, yeah, melee tech is on the way. Melee defense is coming through. Anatan, one of the big problems as to why this fight isn't as dominant as it should be is he doesn't have that blacksmith tech to work with. That being said, he's still holding. Cost efficiency-wise, if he's able to trade one of these Musafadi for one of these horsemen, it's a good trade. 80 resource costs compared to 120. Okay, I actually think he's fine here. And I think B has a problem. He needs age 3. He's starting to stockpile up. The food isn't looking good, though, as he queues up 5 more horsemen here. Is there really much point in building horsemen instead of spears? I guess it's the damage saturation and choke points, right? You just need to be more efficient with units in limited space, right? If you can only have 10 melee units attacking at once, horsemen will be better than spears. Which suggests that B is planning to dive again. If he can hit the eco, worthwhile, but I think he needs villager kills. Musafadi are going to start peeling off to go hunting. Saharan Trade Network is going to get garrisoned. And by the way, actually, like a big part of why these Mansa Musafadi are doing so well is the melee armor. It's like, it's 9 damage with 4 melee armor. Compare it to the Spearmen that do 12 damage and have 1 melee armor. And you see why he was still winning those fights in his base, right? They're pretty much on par, which shows you just how good all pikes can be. But then the difference maker is the attack speed and health. I think if you get H3 here, B could probably beat Musafadi with just spears. Love the local knowledge, by the way. This got changed in the previous patch, not the pup, but the one before that. So that now you attack and heal off those attacks. So it's lifesteal. So you actually heal 15 damage after revealing from stealth because you get 3 attacks in. Dive in again, though. B just trying to keep the pressure on, make sure there's no raids. But as we can see, a few of the Musafadi did sneak out. Not enough for them to do any irreparable damage, though. Prelate is brought low, but will not be killed off. 2 HP. One problem here for B is he didn't go Burgrave, so he doesn't have the immediate tech for veterancy. This could actually kill him. Like, guys, I actually think Burgrave was necessary here. Veterancy tech taking a minute might be too long. Musafadi now diving in. And Sandy has the numbers to break this. Floods into the point, wraps around the back and forces the retreat. Tech is coming, but I don't think quick enough. The landscape now getting queued up as well. Musafadi need to be a little bit careful their positioning, but gold also now a problem. B, Landsnet is a Q idea, but if you don't have gold access, you do not have the ability to build them here. Line spread out. Musafadi able to peel for the right fights here. Veterancy for the Horseman, veterancy for the Spearman, nowhere to be seen, right? Vet for Spears, still just 20 seconds away. But it might be 20 seconds too late. Only 10 of them left alive. Anatan now at 30 of these Mansa Musafadi. The Lance has come out, but with 4 melee armor and 125 health, it is not the counter you'd expect. Starts to slice a little bit, but not enough. And I think this game might be over. I think it might be a 5th game now for Anatan. This boy is robbing me. Robbing B, actually. Remember, $5 per map win. Anatan basically wants to make it like he just won a best of 7 instead and got the full prize pool. One law coming out. Finally, B has a unit that works. It's a Mansa Musafadi. Dive coming in. B finally with the veterancy. That should be enough to set Anatan back here. A lot of idle time achieved, though. Regnitz is now garrisoning relics, however. Somehow, B finds the means to get spin production up again. He finds his way to 2 relics. Anatan is in a good position, but he also needs to contemplate a switch here. Because Mass Musafadi on its own was sort of winning against Feudal. I don't think it's going to win against Castle. These all pikes are wild. Local knowledge at least sustaining him a little bit. B might be slightly overextending these fights. One thing to keep in mind with B, one danger of what's happening here is he's going to be running out of food soon. And also, there's another reason why Anatan didn't have the full weight of the Malian power behind him. It's because he was saving some of it for economy instead. Second town center now on the way for blue. Yeah, and the big problem here is, once again, the farms. There are no farms for B. He's not playing Arkan. He doesn't have that efficient transition. So, at some point, that very uncomfortable issue has to be broached by B. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's kind of easier for the Malians, right? You can build the cattle and eat it up. You can build into ranches to get extra food income permanently. He doesn't have that same panic point that B is approaching here. 5 relics is at least going to pad a lot of that for B. It's the 5th one. He's on the way home. Alongside the 4th. I know someone earlier said that Fitzy here is reinstalling the game. For real. Like, this is the most Fitzy here build you could imagine. More Lance getting added. I think B now has this answer because of the Lance, right? Like, with all this gold and limited food, it balances out better, as this is a primarily gold-based unit, whereas Spearman is primarily food-based, right? Although Spearman are the most efficient, cost-efficient unit in the game, and you've made them even more so of all pikes, Lance gives the sustainable thing to get you to a breakpoint. I actually think Anatan needs to consider going for, like, archers or something else here. instead of just building Musafadi only. Usually with the old Farimba, you would justify it in only building into like maybe Musafadi or whatever because it's all gold-based, right? And you just lean gold. But the new Farimba, it doesn't do that, remember. The new Farimba is you are going to pay what you normally would for the units. So you should have that kind of divided economy already prepped to go into different unit types more easily. Sprint replacements are coming in though. What a fun Civ. Sense the sarcasm. Musafadi still trying to be a nuisance on the flank. Now with the eco lead, remember. 2TC versus the 1. B definitely not in a position where he can just rush a love hotel here. Is Anatan going to win or lose this game with just one unit type? I still can't tell. Land stacked. Trying to slice through this. He's up to 9 lands now. You need to kill economy. Like, Anatan cannot directly fight this army now. He loses if he does. I think actually what Anatan needs is siege. Springles is probably the most sensible choice you now have. Remember, the entire enemy army is melee infantry. Springles will be able to punish this. It's kind of your own version of a Landsnecht. Just fighting in the meantime, I can dive in onto the flank. B gets found in the outpost. If you're quick, you can burn them down, but instead, he attacks a wall for the A-click. No, he attacks another one! Oh no. Missed opportunity there, Anatan. Would have been a perfect opportunity to shrink the economy of B. But now, with the fortifications in, that doesn't seem feasible anymore. Lanks starting to exploit this fight. This is a terrible engagement for Anatan. It's about to get a lot worse. Double Spring placement is on the way. Anno, the game is slipping from him here. Oi, oi, oi. TC on the front side will at least force a reset for now, but B, his odds in this game are rising. This game has been fantastic. Actually, big props to the boys as well for like doing a good job of previewing a lot of the new changes. Obviously, not everything got covered. Sometimes they got blocked out by traditional builds, but the all pikes on one side, the Mansa Musafadi on the other. It's great to see this. If the game drags deep enough as well, we'll see the full true impact of these type of techs as well, with all pikes scaling your damage even further for spears with Imperial techs. And of course, with Malians, if they get to Imperial Age, they can choose a second unit from the Farimba. Anatan, please, just siege, mate. These armies are so stacked. They're begging for a penetration shot. Villagers feel like they're begging for death, trying to stay here. Torches are out. B will take no prisoners here. Anatan about to lose the second TC. He's at least got an eco lead, but I don't think he's going to last long here. Villagers come out. The Landsneck is straight in on top of it. All garrison villagers dead. And Anatan now behind on economy. He's going for a counterattack, though. Musafadi dive underneath the TC. He's looking for the pocket economies. In the meantime, it's going to be a dive in by B onto the gold line. The Land Snakes carving them up like turkeys at Christmas. I think this is out of hand. A point where Anatan can't really match the kill speed of B's Land Snakes here. A few more there to hold back the Musafadi. And I think we're moments away from Anatan waving that white flag. What a game. What an insane game. Last of the raiders are getting cleared up, so no more eco damage to be done to B, and he is now 10 villages ahead with plenty of land snakes to swing. Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, maybe Anatan was just stress testing just how good Mansa were if they could just win a game on their own. But in hindsight, I think he realized that Springles were probably his best friend here. It's tough against the marching drills the H3 had, but you just see how he still even loses this fight. Lansk, that good. And GG gets cool. B with the all pikes into mass land stakes. This might be the most classic HRE of HRE-ist strategies I have ever seen. Dude, that's like some 2021 HRE right there. Things are out of Hanotan. Oh my god. Kodankas, please, mate. Come on. That game was fantastic. Oh, wow. Atri might be the most buff Civ of Season 9. Like, all Pikes is wild, guys. That was wild. Alright, so we got one more game to go between these two. Which means we are going to... What was the final map of the series? Rocky River. You don't think Sprims would have saved him? I think it would have fared better than that. Sprims are much cheaper now, remember. They aren't as lofty and costly of a thing as they once were. Look, if you go into... Boop, 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 and we go down to a Siege Workshop. 150 wood, 100 gold. And remember, they get bonus damage versus infantry. So, like, they all hit for 25. And land snakes are a little bit more glass cannony. So I actually think it would have helped him quite a bit. I don't think they are in-game yet. Yeah, they're not in-game yet. They're getting in a sec. I think they just drafted the civs. Oh, wait, you guys couldn't see because the thingy was open, right? 1 second. Hey, sub Kivayu. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate the sub. Welcome back to the Swarm. So, we are going to have English versus Zhone. Ooh, this is a really good game for B. Zhone's really good against English. Sorry. Other way around. Wait, was it B who picked Zhone? Okay, this is a really bad game for B. Sorry to bait people. English is really good against Zhone. Because she can easily be sniped out by mass longbowing. So, curious to see what B is going to do, as we are going to be on Rocky River. That's more of a kind of standardized map. There's nothing crazy special about it. And also, English can very easily just hunker down if they need to go late game instead, right? So, I think it's going to be a tricky one. Do you go range zone? Yeah, most players will go range zone because going melee zone is death. Because melee zone just tries to run in and mass longbow sniper before she does anything. So she's just a liability. The only advantage of going melee zone is that you have melee zone to protect your knights from spears. It just feels horrible, though. Like, you just die so easily. Are they in-game? I might have to ping them in a sec. I think they may have forgotten. Hopefully one of them has their Discord open. Otherwise, they're going to play this and I'm going to be like, play another game. I think they forgot. See if one of them's looking at their Discord, hopefully. Boys, come on. It's 2024. We know better than this by now. Game not observable. Should guess a response in a second. Good lads. Yeah, they're remaking. Alright. Give us a sec, guys. Sorry about that. Good lads, though. Like, if it was 5 minutes plus in or whatever, I would have been like, okay, I don't want them to screw the strats. But they were only 2.5 minutes in, so nothing had been revealed. So it should be good. Alright, so reminder to people just tuning in. We are getting ready for the next game. Oh, wait, sorry. B won that one, didn't he? B is starting to strike back. He's stinging in return, baby. 4-2 right now. And we have got one more game, and it's going to be HRE, sorry, not HRE, English versus Zhone. Wow. He was with Farman. Farman really hates YouTube, doesn't he? Even though he does YouTube. Okay. What I might look to do, by the way, I've heard that Myriad can play. We might do Myriad versus Corvinus if they're both around. So I'll double check on that. So you might be able to do another show match. I know. I am spoiling you guys. And then who knows? Maybe if we've got other people around after that, we can do another show match. And we'll just keep going. We'll see. I'll bump them after this and see if they're available. Fantastic. Thank you, Anatan. Thank you, B. Appreciate the remake. I don't know if B streams anymore. I'm unsure. So B won the last prediction, right? Yeah. Let's get this one ready. And let's get to it, guys. I've never wanted someone to intentionally drag the game into late game so much as I do in this final game of this show match. And here's why, folks. English are one of the biggest, most subtle benefactors of Season 9's patches. Its huge overhaul, these drastic changes around Siege, around range units in Imperial. There aren't many civs that benefited more than this one right here. Anatan on the English, going up against Joan on... B, rather, on Joan. Words are hard sometimes. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. I actually do hope that we see a little bit of Castle Deep play here. Joan got some really cool buffs around her ability to spam her unique units. It's not reliant on keeps anymore, so it's more feasible. And the English got buffed pretty big in the late game with the changes around things like the range. I actually tested this, guys, and my order for Wingard used to be the best unit was Footmen, the second best was Raiders, then it was the Army, and then it was Rangers. Now, I say it's Footmen, Rangers, Raiders, Army. Like, they have drastically improved Rangers because we've yet to see it in this series, but if you get to Imperial Age, there's a bowstrings tech that gives you +2 range. I have to see if we get that deep, though. I definitely have a feeling these two are going to try to send it at each other. Anatan might decide to go for some Lombo play here. It's possible. We've seen a bunch of games where English do this just because Joan gets sniped so easily. The alternative is you just play into Abbey of Kings. And the viability of that is that it makes it very hard for Joan to ever get XP in a fight because you always peel back to heal. That's actually a good question. I haven't tested that. Joan should, in theory, get +3, right? Because she's horseback. So that would take her from... Is she at 8 tower range already? She'd become 11 tower range. Wait, which means she could snipe Siege without being in range, right? I don't know. I'd have to test that. What? Oh, B. If this was a Lombo build, I actually would rate this quite highly. The reason is that Lombos can't easily suffocate the map. But if Anatan glimpses this at all, I think you're just going to see him drop stables. Looks like it might work out for B, though, because it turns out that Anatan is a traditional greedy boy. We have got the TC play coming. Yeah, so the Horseman build is actually, I think, in a lot of times better than the TC build. But what B is doing in this game is he's exploiting the expectations of the matchup. When Joan is picked, the expectation is that she will aggro because she benefits from aggro. So you don't want to play into that because you'll feed the XP and it feeds the beast. So by going for Chamber of Commerce, he's actually playing more greed than aggro. Knowing that Anatan is likely to go 2TC, instead of risking this all-in strat of Mass Horsemen, which can be quite good in the right circumstances. But here with the Knight's Threat, I don't think Anatan wants to deal with that level of out-micro. It would be very difficult against Feudal Knight Civs, even though you can outplay them because of the heal. Instead, he's just going to play Condensed and Safe. The trades better not go bloody left. Don't get me started on the traders. So yeah, guys, the traders are pretty buggy in in this game. I still remember that map, which was mostly water without fishing, if you guys remember, where the traders, instead of walking a straight line through the player's base, they'd they start here, and then if you look at the minimap, they'd go like this, and then like that. It was really dumb. I don't know what caused that. But we'll find out. Chamber of Commerce is down. This did get buffed though, right? I think they improved the... Was it they improved the pace at which the free traders are produced? So I think they produce in either 20 or 15 seconds now. And we already have the cheap techs coming in. Not optimal from B there. Usually you want forestry prepped before you complete the tech up because it's just so cheap and it just allows you to immediately be churning out the traders. But he's going to have the back-to-back coming in fast. Other side. Where's this second TC going? Problem the gold. Likely we'll see Anatan lean, left side here to secure the second tree line. Or if he just wants to keep trees gathering right next to it, he'll plop it here. And then he'll set up like a white tower here with farms around. Either or, I think this gives more farm area if you play the TC on the south side of the gold. But he might be paranoid about the night timing. He doesn't know what we do, which is that there is no night coming. I think he just discovered it, though. Yeah, he did. He wrapped around the back and saw it. So it is every, 15 seconds. Look at me. I know my patches. So normally you'll pay, have to wait 30, but they doubled the production rate because Chamber of Commerce is one of the most underwhelming landmarks in the game. Yeah, it turns out, cock not good there. It really is. The way that I like Chamber of Commerce, by the way, Chamber of Commerce in theory is better with Jaune, drastically better than it is with French. And the reason for that is because of the playstyle reaction it forces. When you see trade, you want to stop trade, right? So the value for Jaune there is that that means your opponent has to come out and fight you, which is what Jaune wants. That's the ultimate goal, right? The way you stop trade is by killing it. But by killing it, you're putting yourself out in the middle of the map. King is coming, though, and that could be a problem here because B doesn't have his first night out. It's still 15 seconds away. King is going to raid in. Ooh, the animation got cancelled there. Good body blocks. B able to protect the low HP villager. So then King gets nothing for his actions. However, the second TC is up. And that means that Anatan can start pumping forward when it comes to economy. Now, traders can be actively built if you want, but it is going to have a pretty penny to it, right? 120 resources per. I wonder, does Anatan just drop stables here? No, he's just going to get racks. And we have Jaune in Hunter form, which makes sense. Jaune, we mentioned already, for very obvious reasons, you want to play in Hunter form, not in melee form. Just because the risk is if there's Lombos, you're going to die. This also sets up nicely to protect his knights from the initial spears. So I actually think B's in as good a position as he could kind of ask for here against a Civ that would usually just pummel you with these kind of one TC all-inners. Yes, Myriad. He always whips it out when you least expect it. I think B probably has more Chamber of Commerce games than almost any pro in competitive history, right? Who's the other one? So Beastie doesn't do it often in comp. He tries it a bunch in pub games. Nice spam coming in, and we've got pro scouts. So this is really greedy. PS and Lecoq coming in one game. Anatan won't be able to punish this. He just doesn't have the timing and the positioning with 2 TC. I'm curious what he views his win condition as, though, because this kind of does make Anatan's castle age free, you know? Like, I don't think you're going to be able to stop him in any meaningful way when you make this kind of side investment. I know, now setting up the farms behind, so we'll start to pan himself for that mid-game economy. King's still being a pain in the ass. You don't have any reliable way of healing these guys up. You don't really want to be using a divine restoration on a trader. It's not the best use of it. He's going to look to trade it a different way. Shuffles across the map. A lot of gold workers on the front side, more than you'd be able to actually garrison inside this TC. Anatan, I don't think he's at a point where he needs to be too paranoid about a dive, right? Like, Jaune's not really going to come underneath the TC. It's a double TC at that, without undermesh and with only 4 knights. So I don't think there's much for you to freak out about. We mentioned this should be kind of a free tech for him, and I think that still remains true here. If you drop the white tower between the 2 TCs, it's very difficult for B to dive. King, after all that healing, comes in again. So that's going to be a trader loss, right? I think you just commit to this one. It's interesting, actually, just B still needs so many people on the gold because he's pumping trade actively. He's not slow playing this. The weirder part to me is this. He's actively producing out of the Chamber of Commerce instead of just producing out of the corner. There we go. He's fixed that now. Yeah, it seems like this was getting priority over the corner trade point. So you're just kind of... You're being suboptimal in the return of investment, right? Because it's better to just have them come from here and immediately trade cross-map. King coming in. And wait, what's happening in this game? King's Palace? Is this just a greed measuring contest? It's just simply who can be more greedy. I'm actually bewildered by this game right now. B, when trade, he's booming it up. Anatan is now going free TC. This is wild. No white tower defense at all. Just a handful of spearmen to defend with. Holy crap. Guys, this is crazy. This is insane. King looks like he's going to get sniped down. I believe there is a shot here. One sucky thing is if you divine arrow this, you don't get any XP. Because the first king doesn't cost anything, so he doesn't generate XP. Looks like he's going to get away with it as well. Wow, so he doesn't even give anything over. Raxes are being built up. This is possibly the most greedy Anatan game I've ever seen. But in fairness, it's justified when you realize that B is already at 11 traders. I wonder, is B playing this too slow? Wait, did B actually even... He must have seen the King Palace. There's no way, right? I feel like he didn't, though. Which would be weird for a guy who has 3 scouts, but the scouts haven't been with him. So there is a chance that I don't think B saw this third TC. And he's treating this like it's White Tower. So he's paranoid about diving the base for good reason. You dive in here, you die, right? If there's a White Tower here, you dive in with knights, they die. So it's safer to play castle. If he looks back at this game afterwards and realizes it's King's Palace, he's going to be kicking himself. Because the approach you take, King's Palace versus White Tower, is drastically different. One demands punishment. The other demands temperament. It demands presence, but patience. He's being patient when he should be aggressive. Guys, we're going to get the late game. We're choo-chooing into the late game here. 100%. Anatan farm count, it's only 2 clusters right now, but with the third TC, the amount of wood gathering you should have going here, I think we're going to see this ramp up to 5 farm clusters really fast. B should now be getting suspicious that he has not seen a single knight trying to hit his economy, because usually when you have White Tower, you'll build 1 or 2 knights anyway to try and raid, trade. It's like, it's kind of wild, right? Because you've got B walling when there's absolutely no reason to. Everything he's done suggests he doesn't know. And I think he's about to discover. B, he knows for sure now. It's a King's Palace play. He might be too late to punish it, though. He's still feudal age. It's already 14 spears. This is not an army you dive onto. Not with the veterancy and the attack speed aura. And now the walls go up. Anatan, he kind of nods his head and goes, yeah, I'm a greedy boy. Well, there's one thing for sure, folks. This is the single most greedy game we've seen of Season 9 so far. Not hard, but it is. But in the meantime, just go snatch away all the central deer here. So I'm trying to remember the maths on this. I think there's more deer on this map than there is on any other, right? Because I think there's 8 3 stacks of deer, and then there's 2 7 stacks. So there's more deer here than on other maps. I'm pretty sure that's correct. That's now prepping the crossbows as well, so Layer to the cake, baby. The options to the flank are pretty big here. Instead, he's going to try to brute force this. B. Can he break him? You see the reluctance, guys. This attack speed aura makes it so scary. It's not good enough to trade one knight for one spear. It's not even close to good enough. It's going to be able to poke a villager, but it's a 20 eco lead already for Anatan and extending. King, in the meantime, did get sniped elsewhere. I don't think B breaks in here. He just needs a good castle. And that doesn't feel good because that means this game is leaning later. A later phase of the game that, admittedly, arbitraries have been buffed in with the new incendiary arrows, but I do think that English benefited more from the university tech changes in Season 9 than Jeanne d'Arc did. Namely, we're looking at things such as the longbow range that comes to mind. I think men-at-arms as well. Just so much melee armor with armor-clad as well. Also, hand cannoneer is another one that's kind of scary just because of the attack speed. Hand cannoneers are kind of wild now, by the way. I'm curious to see a few civs like Ibids in late game. For those that don't know, the new hand cannoneer buffing tech gives you 30. It gives you extra damage against infantry, I think it was, and then it gives you whenever you're attacking against, I think it's specifically infantry or melee infantry, it gives you 30% more movement speed. So imagine that with Ibids, right? With Mamluk's bravery, you'd be moving as quickly as French knights. Well, no reaction out of B. He's like, oh, we'll just come back for you in a second. And in fairness, that was smart from Anatan. It bought time for the army to get in position here. However, he doesn't have the aura. If there was a time to attack, it would be now for B, but he doesn't have the veterancy yet. Anatan read that perfectly, understanding that B could not commit to this fight. It might be too late now. 12 crossbows are scaling. Raw Bloodlines is on the way. B is just playing Raw Knights, the good old Zertan strategy. Like, actually, the more... Okay, let's be honest, guys. Who else feels like you could just replace the name of these players with Zertan? Oh, sorry, Zertan and Divine DFB. The story fits, right? TC booming versus mass knighting. Absolute classic. If you're wondering what these techs are, by the way, guys, they're the new icons for the additional eco tech levels. So this one right here is food tech level 2. This one is mining tech level 2. And the lumber one you would have seen a little bit earlier is the wood level 2. They've done it to try and make it clearer. At first, it's going to be 10 times more confusing for viewers because we got used to seeing these at the time. That's not walled. Anatan. Uh-oh. Oh, he just walled the villagers out. The knights. We'll be able to chop a few down here. They need to keep running, though. Spearmen are catching up. And the quick wall comes in. Can he get the sandwich? B, not able to get away. Tries to break through just in the nick of time. The torches come out. A few knights lighter. But at least a few get to go home and kiss their children goodnight. Guys, we're going Imperial. My friend just rung me and was like, can you go bouldering today? I was like, I think we can do bouldering in a bit, sure. Maybe not. I don't think Anatan is going to push. I legit think he's going to go Imperial. I mean, he's got 2k food income. Look at the farms being set up. There's no rush now. What does B have in his back pocket here? He went Raw Institute already. You should be able to see that because you already saw he had real bloodlines. So it doesn't get much better for him. It gets so much better for the English. You know how sad it is to be deep in the castle and still have level 2 zone? I'm upset I'm not going to get to see champions or riders here. I know. Always just keeping him out as well. Spearman just quick enough to always pursue here. Still no level 3 zone. There we go. Finally it's able to tick up. And I wonder, are we just going for... It's riders. We were actually going to get Jones riders. Because look, Anatan built 25 crossbows. Folks, the Jones riders are super effective against crossbows. In fact, we should see them spawn out. We can talk about them a little here. They get +7 damage against crossbows. They have 6 base ranged armor. And they'll also benefit from the real bloodlines. I actually really like this play. It's weird because you are up against mass spears. That's still a problem. But I think what B's trying to do is focus raid, play flanks, and oh baby. The raid on the flanks would be good if it wasn't for the fact that there's going to be a unit that can just sit in one location and hit everything. I think we're going to see Wingard Rangers. Do I understand the English shouts? No, because I was born in the 20th century, so a bit difficult. Guys, I've never wanted Rangers so much. There's a point that needs to be made. I have a developer watching this stream right now, and he needs to be educated. He keeps teasing and memeing me like, oh, the Rangers difference isn't going to be big. No, they're not going to be a toxic problem in Age of Empires 4. They will be. And here's why. Rangers have 2 more tower range already than longbows. There's a new tech in the game called bowstrings that gives +2 more ranged to range units, like archers. That means that your Wingard Rangers can get 11 tower range, which is more than anything else in the game right now. Put them on a wall, 13 tower range. It's not okay. There's the lumber tech too we were talking about. It's lumber preservation coming in. Network of Citadels. What a reasonable tech. So I love the drastic changes, devs, and I applaud it. I truly do. But can we please finally do something about Network of Citadels? I feel like this aura should be an activatable or temporary buff, not what it currently is, which is an outpost scroll and an infinite 40% attack speed. It is broken beyond belief, still to this day. That's not the Cav, get a nice little fight there. Elite Tech isn't in yet, swimming on the way, but guys, here we go. They're here. Fear them. The Wingard Rangers, 9 tower range base. We're probably going to have a university coming in soon for Anatan. Not quite yet. Remember, guys, overall, eco food techs for farming have been nerfed by 15% gather rate. And yet still, some civs just really don't care. I mean, in fairness, he's what? How many farms deep now? 60 farms. Still. With enclosures about to kick in and generate gold. Good lord, and there it is. Oh, this is so broken. We haven't seen much post-imp play so far on the test server, but I am adamant that it is going to be dominated by archers. Weirdly enough, the 2 biggest benefactors of these revamps in the late game, I think, are going to be Byzantines and English. Both for the same reason. Longbows. Hey, you guys want to see some range? Now, it doesn't affect crossbows, thank God. But that also means that Zhon's weaker in Imp, by the way, because arbitraries don't get buffed there, right? So, no bueno for them, as you're going to see in 5 seconds. Wait. We might not get to see them. Oh my god, the riders are coming! Crossbow's in trouble. Wingard Rangers with the 11 tower range. It only matters if you stay alive, though. What a pincher. What a move. B, not only this, is he mopping up the crossbows. Look at the spam! Mass Veteran Royal Knights coming. Rangers able to get behind the wall, and you did see that correctly. These have 11 tower range. They can hit you an entire city over. Honestly, they should just rename these mortars at this point. Look at the range! It's a mobile Berkshire. Oh my god, if he gets on a wall, I'm gonna sign off, man. If he goes on a wall. Because he gets 13 tower range. Remember, on walls you get +2. It's 12 ranges, he needs more. Incendiary arrows is also on the way. Spearman should be able to defend this. B, this is cool, but he needs an age up. I don't know if this breaks it, man. Spears. I understand their ground. They're not going to be able to trade to a win in this fight. Anatan, has he gone too gluttonous here? Has he misread the timing on the switch over to Mass Rangers? Maybe not. Because B, he's taking his time here, burning down the outposts. Yo, Francais, you remember Agincourt? It's time for a little bit of historical repeat here. B, I just don't think he's going quick enough. It's cool the way he's taking these fights, but now bigger problems. This is where Wingard Rangers become broken. The range And the incendiary arrows, they now hit for 18 damage, plus 3, which is pure damage. Siege damage does not get reduced. This also, by the way, means that you can use mass wind gun rangers to kill the Red Palace that will eventually be coming. Yes, you heard me correctly. We finally have a counter to Red Palace. Unfortunately, it involved buffing the English. And of course, that would involve him getting the Red Palace. Right now, B is still just pumping knights in Castle Age. He is Castle Plus, though. Remember, he's got the Royal Bloodlines here. Volley gets activated. Oh, no. Riders trying to bypass it. No point committing Palings, because we like killing, not dying. Footman now arriving, and remember, Footman, they're perfect for this. They get bonus versus Cav. Melee armor a little bit lower, but they're chunky boys at 280 HP. I mean, you may have nerfed better arms, but have you really nerfed these guys? Especially considering Elite Army Tactics actually pads the weakness. I actually think that's an oversight, by the way. Footman benefit more than any other type of meta arms from the change, because their weakness is their melee armor. But with the +4 change, they're buffed in their weakness. Walls going up. Anatan, just get on the walls right now. He needs a gate. No, not a stone wall tower! A gate! Oh, come on! B keeps on sending it. The snipe comes in. Yes, you saw that correctly. Because they have 3 siege damage, no range reduction on that damage for Joan. She dies to incendiary arrows now. The stone wall tower is taking so long. He's not even going to get it up. More Footman coming, more Spearman queued. Elite Army Tactics also now on the way. Remember, it does not give health anymore. It gives +4 melee armor. Range is just dodging death the entire way. And this is some US Rangers right here. Cover fire and move. B down to 34 knights. Those numbers depleting so fast to a point that he can't afford to go Imperial here. He may have stopped the Stonewall Tower from going up, but it may have just cost him everything. Have I got any French people watching right now? Yeah, Sassy got it covered. Agincourt, baby. Remember and weep, because we are seeing a 21st century edition of that. For some reason, featuring Joan. Not quite the right timeline, but I'll take it. 37 spears, 17 of these bad boy Rangers. Rangers really do lead the way. Could he please build some gates? The amount of what you can see what he's doing here. This is exactly what I warned the dev about. He's like, I don't think it's going to be a problem. No one would ever do that in pro game. That's just dumb. Footman now. You guys remember when the game released and people had those Reddit meme threads about like building the walls all the way to the enemy base with Lombos on top? And then you're like, oh, it's not too bad. Ah, it's back. Royal Red Palace is on the way. All right, hear me out. You just queue up more Wingguard Rangers and kill this. Spearman now diving in. It's going to cost him dearly. Rangers following up as well. Spearman mass coming. He needs to protect that Red Palace. This is one safety boon. His one safety net here. We'll be able to get up in age, but is it going to last long? The Wingguard Rangers sniping down so many of these villages. A high price paid in blood. Appropriate for a building made of red. Not just that. Jeune de Blast is now here. Fear her. This game is incredible. Oh my god, thank you B and thank you Anatan for making this final game an absolute gem. Hey guys, let me just check that range. Wow, that's not 10 tower range. Let me just go ahead and check that. Oh, 11 tower range. Oh. I mean, I'm not saying he should stop producing footmen and start producing rangers, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Because guys, once again, your base damage will be reduced down to 1 damage, and then the siege damage is free. So every ranger shot will do 4 damage to a building. It's like a mini Chuginu, just not mini on the range. Trey's in a bit of peril here, so it looks like we're knocking the door. Anatan. Oh my god. He's going to park on the trade. Volley gets activated. He's rushing an outpost up, trying to get that attack speed. June de Blas activates the Vouch Inspiration. The attack speed buffer comes in, so the footman front line will get cleared up. Look at the melee armor. 9 melee. It would have lasted a lot longer. Spearman now to follow this up, though. How much work can these knights do? Outpost is up. The Rangers are on the wall. 13 tile range. Come on. Congratulations on your full melee army. I don't know how I'm ever going to beat it. Oh, that's right. I have a wall. Oh, these units are so broken. Pete just trying to keep the night pump going, but I think it's over. I'm sad we didn't get 40 rangers, but probably a good idea as well. I would have needed a shower. It would have looked so dirty. I think we're moments away from the GG call. An ambitious effort by B with the mass cavalry only strategy. Anatan, I'm a little bit disappointed we got so many footmen. I just wanted more rangers. I've got a point to make, mate. Look at the attack speed. Ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo. This is without volley. I can't. Get this crap out of my game. This better be nerfed come season 9. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed in B. I too wanted to see the Red Palace get sieged. The most buffed unit of season 9. 30. 13 range longbows. I can't, man. It's so freaking. Oh, GG though to be an Anatan. That was a fantastic series between them. Anatan in the end made off with 25 buckaroos. B screws himself 10. In fact, let me list that in my sheet so I remember it. So 25 bucks. B will get 10. KB Season 9 pop show matches, and let me list the date. I think we might actually stream tomorrow, guys, if I can get some more people for show matches. That was incredible, though. It's wild because, like, what you need to realize, guys, is that because it's on a separate instance as well, the incendiary arrows, what it means is that you are doing a bare minimum 1 damage on your standard attack, and then the free damage is separate, right? So even against a building, if he did start attacking the Red Palace, he would have been doing 4 damage per archer shot. No, I'm pretty sure it is. Wait, is it not a separate instance? I'm pretty sure it is. The CTR is a different attack. Yeah, then what I just said is 100% correct, Bebop. That's what I just said. So you do 1 damage and you do 3 damage because siege can't be reduced. Myriad, mate, sorry, because our plans are made. What I'm thinking is we might have to do it tomorrow. Is that okay? Does tomorrow work? Sorry, I just saw your message now. Another plans came up, so I don't think we'll have time for a full show match today. You can't work. When are you working till? When do you work till? We might be able to do something on the weekend as well. Sorry, I feel worse for Corvinus. I said to Corv we might be able to find someone, but no guarantee. Sorry, it's because like this was the only one we had organized ahead of time, and something's come up in RL, so I probably won't be live for too much longer today. But we will be live tomorrow, I think, and we will at least be live on. I think we'll be live on the weekend as well. So what I might try to do is on the weekend. It's like maybe Saturday. I'll gauge the players' thoughts on this Saturday or Sunday. Maybe I try to get like 8 players together or something, and we get maybe like a double elim format going for, I don't know, like 50 or 80 bucks or something like that. That gives me plenty of content that is decent. But what I'll do is I'll put like a thing up on the Discords to figure that out. Sorry if I don't know if Corvinus is here. I feel worse for Corvinus because I know like he was saying availability. But it's just like by the time I'd seen your message, sorry about that, because I know you said you were gonna get back to me, but you didn't know when. Is like obviously like I made plans. So I think what we're gonna do now, I probably have enough time to cast like maybe one pub game if there's any pub games going on, and then we'll probably look to round it out, which I hate to do with so many people tuning in. But what that means is you guys have plenty of reasons to tune in for the next few days. So I'll see what I can organize for tomorrow. We might be able to get like a formatted show match for 2 players then. And then we will look to, what we're trying to do is configure for either Saturday or Sunday a bracketed system. So I want to try to get at least 8 players together. We already had ones with 4 players and they were really cool on like the Skarsgård map and whatnot. My request for leave has been denied. That's not how that works, mate. I have not been able to gym for like 2+ weeks, so I need to get my workout and then sort a few things behind the scenes. Let's make it happen Sunday. Yeah, like I said, I'll put like a poll up to see which day the players prefer. If anyone wants to contribute to trying to increase that prize pool, use my coffee link or message me directly and we can figure something out, as I know people are always eager to do that. Reminder, by the way, another big way to get increased prize pools, !Protein Works. So guys, I'm actually like partnering with Protein Works for like the 4th month now. This is delicious, by the way, salted caramel bandit. The way that I've worked this out, I want to reward you guys for supporting me and supporting the brand that believes in us. So I've figured out like what we're going to do is if we get at least 10 sales confirmed this month, I will add in another $200 into our little stockpile of prize pooling money for tournaments and whatnot, for show matches and so on. Which means that, you know, next month we'll have bare minimum $200 to commit to more show matches, if not more. So if you guys want to see that, and I want to do it in a way that you guys are getting some for your value, !Protein Works. Check out the products. They've got so many cool things in there. The coffee coolers are really good. Rate them highly. Nootropics slap. Really powerful taste in them. Love the diet meal replacements. I've been really enjoying the breakfast meal replacements as well. I start my day off with those. The last few days I have. They're delicious. Highly recommend the banana flavors, by the way. The banana pops. Love those. But there's plenty of other flavors as well, so be sure to check them out. And I think they deliver, so they deliver to most European countries. They deliver to America. I think they also deliver to Canada. On top of that, they also might deliver to Australia. And the cost of delivery scales down as you spend more. So on top of that, there's like usually a 60 to 80% sale going on at any given time. If you use my code KillerPigeon, you'll get another 10% off. Like I'm actually going to, so what I'm going to try today as well is I might make up some whey protein because they sent me some iced peach, I think it was, whey protein. So I might look to make that up and then take some of that with me. So, yeah. Sorry about that though, Myriad. Sorry to Corvinus. It's just because we didn't have anything. If like I would have just said no to going like bouldering, but now the person on the way, because at the time I didn't have anything locked in. So apologies for that. But I think we've got a wee little bit of time to burn. Anna sounds cute. Should we check? Should we have a like chill cast? Let me double check what the ETA is on them arriving. Stream bouldering. So I'm kind of a mixed mindset. Like I thought about it I don't think we're there yet. I want to get there though, and the reason why I mean we're not there yet is like sponsors will look at your averages, and obviously I don't have a YouTube editor to create cool content around the bouldering or whatever. If I did, I could like grow that channel and we'd have viewers coming in for that guaranteed. But I think most people come to me for AoE 4. My goal is to get to that stage, and I've always said that. Like I'll always do Age of Empires 4, but I want to be able to check out new games. I want to be able to maybe stream RL and that kind of stuff because that I think is really cool. So like it's definitely within the next year. It's something I want to start targeting and moving towards. Which is why I've said like I want to do stuff with Deadlock. It's why also we're gonna have a lot of fun. So like RL streams, something cool we're looking to do in late October probably or early November is we're looking to do a new PC build. I've already got a few people coming on board, so I've got AMD who are going to be supplying some parts, and I'm looking to source other sponsors for PC components. So that's a cool different type of content because I really want to try to like, especially with like PS5 Pro coming out and charging an arm and a leg, I really want to show people how easy it can be to make your own PCs. Because it's like it's not as complicated as you'd think. As long as you remember to put thermal paste on, you're pretty Gucci. So yeah, we will be looking to do different kinds of content. Actually, on top of that, guys, I do have something MMO related. I can't speak more at the moment, but next week on Wednesday, we are going to do something MMO related. We'll start off with like I'm going to host a show match, and then we're going to be moving across to a really cool sponsored MMO segment, which is really different for me, but hopefully you guys will support that. I think you'll be hyped at what we've got to show off. I'm definitely hyped and intrigued by it. Like I've had a little bit of a glimpse of what we're going to be checking out, and I am really looking forward to it. Make Protein Works deliver in the Netherlands? I keep telling them I need more locations because we're a global channel, so mango plus ice plus protein powder so good. I haven't tried the mango. Have they got a mango one? They sent me the peach iced tea, and I was like, I don't know if I need whey protein. But then I'm like, might as well take it. Like, should you take the whey protein while you're like climbing or whatever, or is it afterwards or before? I've never done whey protein, right? Like I'll do these, which has a lot of protein in them, or I'll go and like eat a big chunk of chicken afterwards or whatever. After, definitely after. Okay, that's what I was feeling because like otherwise you'd be bloated in, right? Doesn't really matter. I mean, it kind of can. It can make you feel bloated or whatever. All right, so we'll check out Anna Chad's game. And then I think I've got to go in like maybe half an hour or so. What do you guys think of that, though? That was sick, though. That show match, really big shout out to B and Anatand. That delivered more than I was expecting. I was like, well, I think we'll have some fun ones. Like, we start the series, I was like, oh, it's not too bad. But they really stepped up and delivered on the entertainment value towards the end of that, for sure. That was fantastic. What do you guys think about these midweek show matches as well? Like I said, you know, I want to do more of them, and my hopes is we can keep scaling the channel so we can do that. Because when we scale the channel, I can go and get sponsors and integrations, like your Protein Works, other games to try, maybe just more passive sponsors as well, like, you know, peripheral brands. And then that gives me money to put these on. Because like right now, the reality is when I put these on, I'm reaching into like my pocket. Because I don't make a living off of content creation currently. But I love that we're able to start getting towards this point. I want to start. So so like little preview on what I'm planning and plotting. I want to start constructing a bracketed format with free scheduling for players, and I'm looking to do that after Wololo. So a little bit closer, I'll break it down in bigger detail. But the whole idea is that players will be able to schedule their matches throughout the week on an elimination bracket, and then the finals will have a fixed time to happen and will be fully broadcast. And then throughout the week, we'll be able to catch a lot of those series. So, you know, the big goals of that is to give a little bit of continuity to players, to give them an environment to prove in, because a lot of players just aren't, like, they don't want to have to put in the extra effort of organizing scrims and whatever. A lot of players only practice on ladder, and I think that's bad for comp. That doesn't really teach you a lot of the intricacies. So it unintentionally gatekeeps the esports scene. And there's a lot of entertainment value there. There's also the ATR system, which people will benefit from having these mid-weeklies. So my goal is to really, really pound in there and give the players a lot more to work with. Yeah. So like I think sustainable in my eyes might be like, if I can get 8+ players on board for $50 or $60 per show match, like set across a day, That gives me enough content, and I think that might be sustainable at my current point, because I can source some sponsors to cover that, I think. But my goal is to gradually grow it into $100, $200, $300, $400. My dream is to get us to a stage where we are hosting and leading a league. I want to create weekly leagues so that players have a way of grinding ATR, but it also, there's enough money there that they feel like it's not going to pay all their bills, but it will help them. And I want to get it to a point where that is ongoing consistently, whether I'm here or not. The reason that's important to me is a big part of what Age of Empires 4 in esports is missing is the legacy and narratives that are built and constructed over time. We have these major tournaments that occur, and sometimes you have incredible rise-ups like Anatan. But a lot of the nuances and the story around it is not well crafted, well marketed, or whatnot. It's just gap, no presence there. And I want to give one, continuity, but two, I want to be able to build a narrative that leads into bigger things. Like, my goal is to try and help the AoE4 scene organize into having a grassroots free to pro that also then feeds into major events. One big thing that works really well for things like Dota 2 is the fact that every year they know TI is coming. So every event feels like it's progressing towards that from a viewer perspective, from a pro player perspective. Major scenes that really make it in the long run have this. And the closest that Age of Empires 2, 4, all of them have is Red Bull Wololo. And Red Bull Wololo does a fantastic job, but it's never pitched as the World Championship, right? It becomes it naturally. But in between, like, waiting and whatever, there's, like, a legacy lost there. Don't get me wrong, Red Bull do a fantastic job with the marketing, everything around it, which is why they garner so many viewers. But I do think there's, like, a big gap to, like, get everyone together to help structure the big picture, if that makes sense. Instead of everyone just working independently. Throw $10 in AoE2 and have Viper SHOWMATCH. Now you'd have to throw in a few zeros from... Yeah, it's like, I mean, but like, the problem is, in Age of Empires 4, players became spoiled with a prize pool that's too big for our viewership. So it doesn't make sense. Like, I've had pros, I'm not going to name who it is, but I've had pros before be like, yeah, for 25 bucks a map. And I'm like, I don't have that money, right? I'm not Drongo big, right? I can't afford to pay you this. So, you know, I try to be real with people. I'll pay what I can. And, like, currently what I'm spending is, like, theoretically, like, what I'm spending. I don't even make enough from content creation to cover my bills, let alone then work to cover people's bills. My goal is to get that, though. And a big shout out to everyone. You know, I'm not expecting people to reach in and give me loads of money. You guys tuning in helps a lot already. The fact we are seeing more growth again really helps, because I want to start driving us towards that 300, 400 viewer mark, 500 viewer mark, because then I can approach a lot of these contacts I have at these companies and have a serious conversation about getting them involved, creating small tournaments that they sponsor. And that is when we get to a stage where I can live off of it and players can start to see the numbers rise to a point where they can begin to live off of it. So, let's focus on the game, because we've got a cool one coming out here, folks. Anatan on the test server, pubbing up against Haven in the pink, playing as the Ottomans. I'm not sure what Haven's rank is, but Ottomans is kind of intriguing on a full water map like Baltic. Not something I was anticipating we were going to see here. So I'm wondering if there's some sort of idea of maybe land presence for him in this type of game, as a lot of the buffs around Ottomans came in that area. So opening, we've got him on Shoreline Fish, which is really surprising here. Also, remember, Anatan doesn't have a powerful Civ with the French, although French is subtly powerful, guys. The intriguing thing about French here is the cost of their Warcogs. Their Warcogs cost notably less. 75 food instead of the standard 110. So you save 35 food per boat scaling. On top of that, as French, you get additional villages. And now, with Chamber of Commerce, there's even more. This is cool. Yeah, I actually think like French got memed on as a water civ for a long time. I think people didn't necessarily grasp the Warcog change at first, but it did start to come into the picture about 2 S-tier tournaments ago, when I believe it's Puppy Paw and Wham started playing Jaune French on Archipelago. And it was surprisingly impressive. Like, I think they still lost their games in the end, but the potential potency there took me aback. I wasn't quite expecting how good it was going to be. And it has been specified by my chat. You are correct. The docks also got buffed to do this. Royal Shipyards tech now gives you population space on these docks. So you're saving 50 wood per house. Same with Jaune, actually. I do think that Zhone has a place on water hybrid maps, but it has to be things like Canal. The logic being is that the fight is close enough to you that you get a lot of XP from the fights. But you can't necessarily play on maps like this, right? You'd never be in range for XP grabs. You'd always feel better about having gradually more villages with the French TCs. The Sultani Trade Network. We've got double trade potential here. I don't expect the Ottoman player to go for the active trade. The reason is that when you're up against French, there's a paranoia that a French knight could always be coming. And that would just ruin your day straight away, right? So probably see Anatan just fully pump trade freely. What I'd love to see out of Haven is just add in Sipahi. What else would be cool? Oh, guys. You know what else would be cool? He needs some production, but cavalry archers can be built in the feudal age. So, Haven has a really potent play there, because cavalry archers move quicker than knights. So you can kite them. It's expensive, right? 180 a piece, but I actually think like the gradual play here for Haven is to just get 4 or 5 cav archers together and raid the enemy. It's a little bit like playing Magadai with Mongols on water maps. And I haven't actually tested whether Jeanne d'Arc can get XP with transport ships. I feel like she doesn't. I feel like I would have seen a creative player try that by now, otherwise. She did feel kind of good on maps like Archipelago, because Archipelago has a tendency to spawn an island in the center of the map, right? So you can kind of offload her there, and she'll be in range. First Warcog coming in, though, so Anatan already applying pressure. Archer ship opening means he can hang around here. Actually, Anatan already has a demo ship on the way to try and address this hog. I'm still kind of... So people are asking about the shoreline fish thing. I don't know if he thought it was deep water. It's kind of weird. And thank you very much, Neck. Appreciate the sub, buddy. Welcome back to Swarm. It does kind of look like it should be deep water, right? With the way the shoreline is. I think that's the biome kind of tricking him a little. There's no other reason why I think you'd want to go for shoreline here. Like, you shouldn't be threatened in the Dark Age. Maybe Haven doesn't know. Has anyone checked his rank? Because I feel like he's getting hard outplayed. He also has a bugged military. For some reason, Ottoman fishing boats count as military. Devs. Devs, please. Wait, is that all units? Because he's got 6 real military. The number just went down. Oh, sorry, no, it's the bug delay on the capture age, isn't it? Sorry, folks. So, for those that don't know, capture age has a known bug with its military count, where sunk ships will not deplete straight away. They take time. Haven's Plat 1? Oh. Well, commiserations to you, buddy. This is why we run our show matches. Guys, don't write him off. Imagine if Haven now wins. And then I report the results to Sanich. And then all of a sudden, Anatan loses all of his AT Nug. Yeah, this is not looking great for him. I don't think Haven knows that shoreline fish are worse than deep water fish. Doing some of my protein works. Spring ship's now diving in. I don't know what that demo is doing. Getting a freebie. Okay, game over, man. Game over. Move them on. Zip the body bag up. And just don't look back. Oof. What are we watching? We are watching a poor Platinum player get brutalized. I thought we maybe had something a bit different, but no bueno. Voldemar, why don't you get on the test server and play against Anatan? There you go. I'm just going to fast forward. This is so fun. I don't think that one's getting uploaded to the YouTube. Oh, poor guy. You struggle versus Anatan? Don't you? Yeah, I was like, where are we going with this? Oh, mate, Voldemar, you should check out the show match we just had between B and Anatan, by the way. That show match was wild. That one of my favorite show matches. It was so good. So, yeah, we were just discussing how... I don't know how much longer I've got now. Probably got to go soon. You don't think so? Why don't you want to watch it? Do you not want to see 13 tower range longbowmen that are definitely balanced and not OP? They're so broken. They're so stupidly broken. So, guys, I'm trying to think. We might not be able to catch more then. Unless Myriad has queued into Anatan. Okay. I'm weighing up whether I have enough time now, because apparently my bouldering is going to be happening at about maybe in like 20 minutes. Trust a guy that... Well, I didn't pit it. It's not a show match. That was them rank queuing. Or quick match queuing. So we might be able to catch this one in its completion, in its entirety. Because we got Myriad versus... Funnily enough, this was going to be the show match, actually. Yeah, I'm casting quick match because I get shit like this, Voldemar. What up? Don't criticize the process. It clearly works. All right, we've probably got enough time to cast this one before I go bouldering. But yeah, reminder, guys, we're going to be doing more quick matches, more show matches. We'll probably look to organize one tomorrow and see what we can get. But my big plan here is Saturday or Sunday, and I'll ask the players their availability. We'll see whatever majority will win, basically. We'll look to set up a bracketed show match, probably double Elim. I might start with like $50 prize pool base, and then if people want to contribute more, they can. We'll see what we can get, but I'm thinking like 8 people, because that way it's good. It's good for the players. There's a little bit of money on the line, and they get to thoroughly test, and it's also good for the devs. Who should start paying me, by the way, because it gets them the test data that I know that they sorely need. Or sorely want. Need maybe sounds a little bit desperate. Unless they are. All right, let's get ready to go, though. Well, this is a surprising treat on the test server. Quick match is usually a giant steaming pile of poo-poo, but nope, it's delivering this time. We've got Myriad on the deli going up against Corvinus, a.k.a. Salami, a.k.a. Condition Zero on the Ottomans. This, by the way, is a really fun matchup. Delhi versus Ottoman on the main server kind of for a long time came boring because Delhi were very dominant, but then Delhi got nerfed on their Ghazi. So that kind of slowed them down. That hurt them a little bit. And now, to make it even funner, Ottomans got buffed on top of the Ghazi nerfs. So I think we're going to have a pretty fun one here. Let me just check. So, Dome of Faith versus Twin Minimum Dresser. The thing I like about Ottomans in the Feudal Age now is, like, Sipahi are really cool, but now, with the Cavalry Archer option, I think you can actually scale it into something comparative to Mass Camel Archers, Mass Horsemen. Because, guys, funny thing about those Cavalry Archers, despite what you might think, they're actually a Feudal unit. Like, you can build them in Feudal. What do you think? Delhi versus Ottomans. I mean, Myriad is going to open Ghazi. That's just kind of atypical here. Sipahi's not a bad reaction. You just need to be careful about your food sources. In fact, speaking of which, 14 sheep to 10. This is... Wait. He didn't use... No, there's no way he would have the Vizier point. Okay, this is fine. I was going to say, if he had used the Vizier point, I'd be worried. But I think, actually, Corvinus is better off here. He has the Madrasa for the permanence of food. He has got enough sheep nearby. And also, the berry rate gathering for every civ that is not buffed already, like Delhi Abbasids and whatnot, got improved because the base rate got increased and the civ-specific buff gathering rate got decreased. So overall, I actually quite like Core's position, and we've got 2 TC coming through. Okay, this is pretty balls. I feel like I can count on one hand the amount of times that a player went 2 TC versus Delhi and they won. And I'm not sure if this is going to be one of those games, because you have 0 military units. Ghazi are already flocking across the field. Undermesh is going to be rushed because he has Dome of Faith, which means he will get it much quicker. And that second TC is not well insulated. It's pretty far out there. Guys, in the meantime, I'm going to poke on the main tree line. Could actually dove over here. Would have been more value. Raxes are being dropped. And I've just been informed we probably will not have enough time to do this. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Apparently, I'm going to have to end the stream in a minute or two because I've got to go. So, what I think we'll do... Apologies. We might catch this one tomorrow because I think this is going to be an interesting one, actually, with their playstyles. I'm going to raid through to Corvinus because Corvinus is actually playing in this game right now. It will be 5 minutes ahead of where we're at, so apologies for that. But hopefully it should be relatable enough. Unless Myriad... Is Myriad streaming? Myriad! Start streaming, you pleb. So, what we'll do is we'll get ready to raid through to Corv. Guys, I will be back tomorrow. We're going to have another stream. Because I shouldn't be bouldering tomorrow now. Usually I don't... Usually I'll either do Friday as a short stream or I won't do it at all because I'll go climbing. Basically, I'm doing that today. So, I will see if I can organize a show match for tomorrow. I'll see who I've got around. Definitely easy if I've got more money in pocket to do so. But the big goal is going to be either Saturday or Sunday. We are going to have a show match organized with hopefully at least 8 players. And I'll look to do a double elim format there. So we'll try to get something extensive. That'll give us plenty of content to sink our teeth into. I want to try to aim for Saturday because then we can cast the games we didn't see on Sunday so we can go back and over them. Maybe we do a community game. Not sure about that. We'll see. Possibly if the stars align. You know my feelings on community games. I'd love to do more community stuff, but it comes down to a lack of the right mods, especially on the test server, and a lack of, I don't know, interest. I think I've said this before, like the community hasn't done much to drive people away from just watching pro games, which I don't like. I prefer there to be hybridization there, but we'll see. Should definitely start a KP Stream Championship and have a champion defend in best of 7. So, I was actually planning for a winner stays on, but I don't like that. Winner stays ons are elitist as all hell. Winner stays on just creates a format where like you get one player on top and then everyone gets the crap slapped out of them until a new dominant player comes in, you know? So, I'm not a big fan of winner stays on. I don't think they're very... They're not very pro-development friendly, and they're very gatekeepy. So instead, I'm looking at a format which I'll talk more of in like probably the next week or two, which is going to include a lot of players and will run throughout the week. But I'm going to end YouTube. Thank you for watching YouTube. Much